Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize podcast. I am your host, Boingo Writer, and with me, as always, in the bullpen.
Gone, the form of man, born to distinguished competition, that man!
Hello, we are
Hi!
here for comics.
Yeah, it's the comic podcast, everybody. No Prize podcast is live, and we've got another episode of Justice League to discuss. We got the announcements of the two big Marvel and DC summer events that we're going to be discussing later in the show, plus new comics like the first issue of Joshua Williamson's Superman and the last issue of Superman Space Age. It's a very DC heavy week, folks, but we got a little bit of Marvel in there for you too, and of course, plenty of toy news. But don't forget, no spoilers for Quantumania in the chat because we're waiting for the Disney Plus release.
Because we're cheap bastards.
Mm-hmm.
But you already let the demon out of the onesie.
Yeah.
We're talking about episodes 20 and 21 of the Justice League cartoon, Night of Shadows, Night in Shadows.
A Knight of Kashadows.
Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
He never chuckles.
Yeah, he's not a funny guy. And neither is Etrigan. He's very moody throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, but great design. Good Etrigan design.
Great design. This is exactly, and this is probably because this is how I first saw the character, I bet, but this is exactly how I think of Etrigan. Don't put Etrigan in fucking plate armor and shit. Have him be wearing his goofy little onesie and cape. That's what I like.
And his little socks.
Mm-hmm, his little socks.
He needs to look like a creature of the Fae. That's what he needs to look like.
Mm-hmm. Boingo using his robo form again. Yeah, there's a fucking
technical difficulty.
The flesh puppet was busy, so I had to deal with this asshole. But we're doing our best here, folks. Don't worry. Yeah. He knows stuff about comics too.
This is probably like an typical Etrigan story.
Yeah, pretty much. It's I won't lie, it's pretty similar to the episode of animated series BTAS that Etrigan shows up in, where him and Batman fight Clarion the Witch Boy.
But I mean, that's Etrigan's MO. It's just Jason Blood is searching for magic people that are doing wrong. Something goes wrong. He turns into Etrigan and has to fight him.
And he won't put up with anyone's bullshit. No half measures.
Hey, guess what the flesh puppet just found?
What did they find?
The thing they were looking for.
Hey! Where was it?
Right in front of them.
Oh, fucking idiot. Get him on here, will ya?
Fine. All right. Just talk to the audience for a little bit.
All right. Well, everybody, I guess I can tell you a cool fun fact about this episode, which is that they did carry over the same voice actor for Etrigan from BTAS, but I bet you can't guess who voiced Etrigan in this and in BTAS, because he doesn't voice Etrigan for the whole show.
Who voiced him?
The voice actor gets replaced later in the show because they get more funding, because the voice actor for Etrigan is Kevin Conroy. It's just Kevin Conroy doing a deeper voice in a British accent.
That is adorable and amazing. I love it.
90% of this episode is just Kevin Conroy talking to himself.
Who voices Martian Manhunter?
That's... Oh, God. Oh, I should know his name. I know he played Isaiah Bradley in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm gonna look him up right now.
The Man-Man.
Yeah.
The Man-Man played the Martian Man. No, and I really like it when actors play both.
Earl Lumley.
Oh, yeah, nice. When actors play both Marvel and DC roles.
Yeah. He did pretty good, though. This was pretty typical Martian Manhunter stuff of, oh god, I miss Mars. I miss Mars so much. The villain is using the fact that I miss Mars against me. How will I ever overcome this? Oh, wait, I overcame it.
Yeah, I don't mind that because, like, we haven't had that really much this season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been very much of, like, he's kind of accepting and stoic, but, like, to see him, like, succumb to his wants It's nice every once in a while.
Yeah. And I do like how the rest of the league kind of takes up for him against Etrigan. They're like, hey, our boy is allowed to be sad sometimes. Lay off.
He's allowed to be a sad boy
Mhm.
from a sad family who's given his
Though,
life to this monstrosity.
though I will say, Wonder Woman feels a little out of character at times in this. She's a little too aggressive this episode, and a little more cunning than I think she should be by this point in her career.
Here's the thing,
Uh,
I don't mind it mainly because she's just shitting on Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, and that is funny, but like the way she handles the security guard, I'm like Wonder Woman would have come up with a non-violent solution to that.
Oh
And
yeah.
then like the way she like knows how to use like innuendos and shit, I'm like, would she know that? Would she living on an island with no men and not having much experience with men outside of that yet?
I mean, we can give it the benefit of the doubt that she's just been on man's world enough times that you can kind of go like, yeah, I can see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just a reoccurring problem with this show of like they give Wonder Woman some good spotlighted stuff, but whenever there's like random moments where it feels like we're missing scenes or like, hey, Steve Trevor should really be in this show to give you a scapegoat of, well, Steve Trevor told her off screen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Can I just say the Etrigan Martian Manhunter fight was beautifully animated. It was some of the most high tier animation we've had in this series.
Oh yeah, that was good looking shit. That was great.
Man, this Human Redeemer is wild. Yeah, no, things are working now.
We've got that high poly model going now.
Should we redo it? Like, hold on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals. Face front, face front. True believers. This is Modular Media's No Price Podcast. I'm Chris, a Boingo writer, Gaston. Hello.
Hi, I'm
Things
the
are
Vac
fixed.
Man.
You're the Vac Man.
This is Vac Man on Batman. Hi, everybody. I'm Vac Smith.
But just like the facial animation during that fight scene was just like, damn, that's some high tier quality shit.
And there's some really good use of the mental powers in this episode too. Like you forget that characters like Morgan Le Fay have fucking psychic shit going on because you just think of her as a magic lady.
Magic lady.
Which by the way, that's another reused voice actor in this episode because do you know who that is?
Is it Hawk Girl?
No, that's Olivia DeBao who voiced Star Sapphire in those last couple Legion of Doom episodes.
Oh.
And Mordred is literally a kid. It's just some kid actor who they got.
Nice.
And their first role was as a hostage in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's all I got on that.
Yeah. I'm like what we say is like this show uses it basically goes like what is the most stripped down Etrigan story we can tell that is just like pure Etrigan to get all these kids excited about Etrigan the demon.
And there's not even really a lot of setup. Like you get the backstory flashback, but then the main story of this kind of just starts. There's no real setup.
No, it is all in like because they're expecting you to have seen the Batman episode, so like Batman and Etrigan already know each other.
Yeah, they're pals. Don't worry.
Batman and like he sees Jason's is like, oh, is something shady going on? Yeah, something shit. Oh fuck, man, what's going on? Let's figure this out. Limited Justice League though. We don't see Green Lantern. We don't see Superman. No Hawk Girl.
Yeah, we don't see Hawk Girl. It's another one where it's just they're over there somewhere, which kind of sucks. I prefer there being an explanation of some kind. Like, say Green Lantern and Hawk Girl are off-world and Superman's dealing with a flood or something. That's all I need.
Yeah, Superman's off doing something in Kansas.
Lex is being a fucker over there. Don't worry about it.
Lex is that's his autobiography. Lex being a fucker.
Lex Luthor, a life of fuckery.
over there has its own problems to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. We're dealing with the problem here. Superman's dealing with the problem over there. We got it all covered. Don't worry about it.
Ah.
How do we feel about Flash this episode? Because he was kind of just comedy relief, man.
He
this
was
time.
comedy relief. It's not bad. He was there because they needed the power set. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I do like the Flash. We need a maelstrom moment. That was fun.
What's a maelstrom? A whirlwind.
Oh, okay.
Now you're speaking my language.
So I have to admit, the whole mansion scene, I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Always like defining character trait in cartoons for the longest time was horny man.
It's not that bad though. In this, like, it's not like he's being creepy over the girls. It's just like, oh yeah, I know Superman. I'm friends with him. He's because he could be a creeper. He's not being creeper, you know.
But he does leave Wonder Woman with Hugh frickin' Hefner to go chase those spirits.
But it's Wonder. He knows she can handle herself.
True.
He should be more worried about what she's gonna do to him. Hold on, I gotta deal with the glasses real quick. They're a little
foggy.
They're
foggy.
You
got some foggy Nelsons over there.
Yeah, we got a foggy Nelson over here. I'm trying to Matt Murdock it.
Right.
No, it's a little foggy Nelson. I'm feeling like Matt Murdock. Get it? Because he's blind.
This is like the beginning of a run to the Jules song.
Buddy, I am nowhere near as talented.
And I only barely know that reference, so.
Modular Media, No Eyes Podcast. I mean, you're not wrong considering we both gimmick up because it makes it 10 times easier to do the show because you don't see our eyes not pointing at the camera.
Yeah, I've also just been making my persona more and more egotistical sunglasses funny man.
But here's the thing, it just makes it like you don't know where I'm looking right now. I could be working on the computer to making things. I could be doing this. I could be over here and just go like, whoa. You don't know.
Yeah, but for all you know, I'm paying attention to Chris, or I'm paying attention to the chat, or I'm masturbating. It could be any of those things, really.
And we don't have that creepy NVIDIA thing where it uses AI to make it look like you're looking at the camera. It's just it's unsettling. It's unsettling.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That is terrible.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's terrifying. Oh, guess what fucking happened? Okay, this is slight tangent.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's go.
The program I use to write my stuff, like write my video essays and everything.
I'd probably hear fact nutting.
You probably would. Has implemented AI and it reads what you've written. Like, it takes what you have written and AI it. So you can just go like, hey, write something based off what I've written so far. And it will do it. And like, it's hilarious because it's bad. And so I did it and it's just like, that's funny. Oh, now I know where I actually want to go there. Because now I have a bad option. I know where my good option is. So it's at least helpful that way.
Hooray!
It's also ethical AI because it's using your writing. How do you feel about Etrigan in general as a character?
I like him. I haven't read a lot of him actually in comics. I only really know him from cartoons, but I always enjoy seeing him show up. I don't know if I'd like full on read an Etrigan series or watch an Etrigan show, but I like him as a supporting character, as a gruffer magical character for other characters to play off of.
See, I agree, and I think that's why DC Comics works, like DC characters work best in like a Justice League Unlimited situation, or Batman Brave and the Bold, where there is a big main pillar character or pillar characters, and then you just throw all the fucking wackadoos to them.
Yeah. Like, I know there's a new 52 book that starred Etrigan and a couple other magical characters that a lot of people really liked, but I'm probably never getting around to that, because I'd rather see him show up and force Bruce to deal with magical shit that he doesn't want to deal with.
Yeah. It's good, though. Good episode. Yeah. Good, solid episode.
Another solid episode of Justice League. Oh man, real big surprise there. This show is good, buddy. I like it.
The show knocks solid A- on a regular.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's
Oh,
nothing
man.
egregious or bad about this episode. Some funny twists or funny jokes. I
Yeah.
like the spoiled kid playing fucking Doom in the
Yeah, I
library.
was waiting for you to mention that. I immediately saw that and I was like, oh, that'll make Boingo happy.
I mean, it's not Doom, but it looks like Doom.
And then they do the information lookup joke where Morgan Le Fay is like, oh, it can bring up information instantly. It's like magic. And I'm like, that's such a fucking 2000s gag. Holy shit.
Goddamn. You gotta love it.
hmm
Now, if you want to do that joke, it'd be funny if you had like a magic person use the internet and goes like, "This is this is horribly inefficient. I can make something 10 times better than this.
Yeah, that's what you do now. Oh man.
This is like, oh man." So yeah.
Another
Justice
another
League.
another solid week of Justice League. And we got a big, solid, sturdy week of Tokusatsu coming up. So for those of you who haven't already, please be sure to check out This Week in Tokusatsu, my weekly podcast where myself and Buster Corp look at all the latest news and releases from the wild world of live action Japanese special effects. You like Power Rangers? You'll probably like that stuff. Hey, you might even like it more. You might even like it less. It depends on the show, really. But we've got a new Ultraman movie, the final episode of the current Super Sentai. We've got a new Kamen Rider episode. Oh my goodness, all kinds of stuff to talk about this week, as well as some pretty interesting Godzilla news. So be sure to tune in to This Week in Tokusatsu or Twit coming up this Tuesday right here on Modular Media. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications so you get that sent to your inbox, along with every episode of the No Prize podcast as soon as it comes out.
Oh
You
yeah,
got those news links ready, bud?
yeah. We got at least the movie news coming up first. So first things first. Marvel report indicates Ant-Man 3's CGI suffered because of another Marvel movie.
Yeah, so this was something that was making the rounds this week, where apparently one of the in-house effects workers for Marvel reported that a lot of the team halfway through got moved off of Quantumania to make sure Wakanda Forever looked good, which made Quantumania suffer quite a bit. But I think it was honestly, if I'm looking at it as a business person, if I'm looking at it as what our project that we want to, the project we need to look better, I would say they made the right call there. However, it's not entirely fair to those employees.
It's not fair to those employees. It's also I think this is the last gasp of the this has nothing to do with pay. This is purely about allocation right this moment. I mean, yes, they need to pay them more, but that's not what we're talking about.
I mean, we've also been hearing that the Marvels got pushed back to November because they wanted to give the VFX artists more time.
That's what I'm saying. This feels like the last gasp of the running on 10 cylinders, everything needs to go, COVID, Marvel shakeup that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were trying to figure it out, get everything fixed and done, and this is the thing that happened. Like this is the last oh fuck whatever.
Yeah, this Quantumania ended up being a sacrificial lamb to get things back to normal.
Well, so far everything looks to be in a better place. That like Vax said, that they're giving some movies more time for their VFX to not crunch and rush it. Do all that kind of stuff. They aren't doing as many projects as fast anymore because they're not being pressured to do it for Disney Plus. So on and so forth. Do I think that this is everything's going to be fixed? No, they're still gonna not pay their VFX artists as much as they should. And that's this isn't a Disney or a Marvel thing. This is an industry wide problem.
Yeah.
They're the worst at it. They are the worst at it. But it is an industry-wide problem mainly because they're non-union.
Yeah. Well, they're the worst at it because they're employing the most people regularly, is the thing.
Yeah.
And I think this is much more a situation of a manager who can't really decide pay doing the best they can to help the employees out and saying like, okay, we need this project to work better. This project, we're not going to push it back or move it up or do anything to screw with you guys, but like, let's also have you do some touch-ups here, and then we're going to move this other project way back so it can have the time it needs. Just
Yeah.
trying to get the timing much better over there, which I think is a net positive.
And I did also see rumors, I don't know if it was you put it in the news, that basically in between showings of Ant-Man, like in between different days, they have gotten different cuts with improved CGI.
I haven't heard that. That's interesting.
I have no verification, nothing of that sort. Don't quote me, but I have seen that posted every once in a while, and it's just like, yeah, I could definitely see them at least doing that for Disney Plus, of like, all right, keep polishing till Disney Plus. That's the one that everyone's gonna watch later.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if anything, my biggest takeaway from this news as a fan is that I'm going to be tapering my expectations going into Quantumania when it does eventually hit Disney Plus.
It's happened before with movies like No Way Home. Yeah, it's happened before. They have done iterative CGI improvements to a movie that's already in theaters. That's also bad because then you're just like, it's continued crunch and just like no finished product, and then you're falling to that whole situation. It's not there's no good solution to that. Like, no, there is a good
Reminds
solution.
me of the fucking Unicron trilogy when Armada like came out looking like shit in the US, and then when it broadcast in Japan it looked way better.
Yeah. But off of the CGI news, we got some casting news. Marvel Thunderbolts adds The Walking Dead's Steven Yeun in a significant role.
Yeah, I have heard relatively positive things about this man. I don't think he's been in a project I've seen just yet, but it's kind of interesting to hear that a relatively notable actor that hasn't been scooped up by the MCU machine yet finally has, and his role is apparently significant. Any guesses, Mr. Marvel Knowledge Man, on who this guy could be playing?
Immediate thoughts is if you're dealing with Thunderbolts, which is anti-hero kind of stuff, anti-hero international thingamajigs. My first thought would have been before Shang-Chi, but we already have a Shang-Chi, so as someone who loves Invincible. Oh, is he Invincible? In Invincible?
I guess so.
Is he? Wait, does he voice Invincible?
If Buster says it, it must be true.
I don't know. I know Invincible in the cartoon is half Asian. I know, like they made the change. It was like, yo, let's fix up the character, that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's the main VA. Oh, so, Invincible.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Invincible. So,
well, he's playing Invincible.
I mean, Invincible has been in the Marvel universe before.
Hey!
Know what? This is probably not it, because he could play it, but I don't think it's this. Amadeus Chow.
Ooh.
I don't think.
And also, I think they'd want to go younger for Chow since they just introduced Scar.
Yeah, they would probably want to go younger for Amadeus Chow. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, because it's not Jimmy Woo. We already have a Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. Is initially I thought Jimmy Woo, then I remembered we already have Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, he's a bit too old for Cho. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of other major, because I don't think they'd want to just put him in a Japanese role, mainly because
he could always be playing a character that wasn't originally Asian too. You gotta remember that.
Yeah, he could be doing one of those. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see, but hey, it's a significant role.
A significant role. That may just be significant for this movie, or it may be significant for the MCU. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Fans are debating whether Jessica Jones' Luke Cage stars just hinted at a return. Um,
Yeah, we got another article about a fucking Instagram story from the lady who played Jessica Jones, whose name is escaping me at the moment, because apparently she hung out with Mike Coulter this weekend.
yeah, and people reposted it to Marvel r/Marvel Studios. Yep.
Hmm.
And I think that's
Again,
I
I
think
would love for them to come back, but I don't know if this is 100%. Yeah, it's happening.
I would love for them to come back, but I think it's also significant of the fact of it's Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
Hmm.
Just start with the first one. Just start with
Yeah,
the
just
original.
start with Alias by Brian Michael Bendis and work your way forward.
And remember, that's early Brian Michael Bendis, where he was good.
Hmm. That's before he just dumped dialogue in your lap and expected you to figure it out.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like it's Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. If it was just like her team, like meeting back up with like Charlie Cox, it's like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
whatever. You're just hanging out with an old castmate. But the fact that it's both of them, and there's significant comic history between those two characters,
And I mean, she's literally calling him Power Man there.
yeah, it makes me think. Also, he reblogged it. He re-shared it because it was
Hmm.
posted on Kristen Ritter's Instagram, and then Mike redid the stuff.
Yeah, Mike Coulter.
Um,
Uh, so yeah, it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if they get like an episode of Born Again to show up.
yeah, and maybe you could do something of like, oh, have you like it? Like they hint at like them getting together, but they're like being like a bunch of tsundere about it. It's like, oh no, no, we're not together. We're just getting dinner. We're just getting dinner.
Yeah, because you got to remember, like the last season of Luke's show ended with him potentially falling to the dark side, and the last season of Jessica's show ended with her getting together with someone else.
Yeah,
So time has passed. You can just say time has passed, but also it will take a bit of legwork to make fans be happy with that.
yeah. There's a million and one things like they could fucking do and say.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it'd be fun to see them back. They were really good in their roles. Here's the thing, I'd even wouldn't mind the guy who played Danny Rand to come back if you give him some actual training and time to learn the choreography.
I guess.
Um, Stella May Stella May is set to direct episodes of Disney Plus Wonder Man series.
Yeah, we got a bunch of little Wonder Man news drops this week, mainly concerning casting, but apparently this was a name people were kind of excited to see get attached to direct episodes of the series. I'm not familiar with the name or their work, but
We can do
hey,
some Google real quick.
oh, we could.
Whom is this? Let's search. Let's search real quick.
Whomst am that?
Okay. Canadian film director. She is known for the Gene of the Joneses, Everything, The Weekend, and The Photograph. Born
Those
in
are the
Toronto.
titles.
Yeah, okay. I Want to Dance with Somebody. Oh, she worked with Encanto. She was creative leadership on Encanto.
Oh, cool. I know people like that.
Yeah, bunch of movies. Look at all these movies.
Oh, look at that. Look at that resume.
Grownish. Bunch of TV shows too.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is someone with a very good pedigree. We're in good hands here.
yeah, she good pedigree. It looks like people enjoy their films. So yeah, cool. We also got Lauren Glazer on the cast of Wonder Man.
Yes.
She's playing a character.
As I have said many times before, I do not know actors that well anymore.
I mean, that's pretty much it. We got people for Wonder Man. Yay!
Yay!
We also got James Gunn had two major DC projects in the work before taking over DC Studios.
Okay, so similar to the BFX thing, this is a thing that's really been making the rounds this week. Because apparently, according to a response he gave on one of his social media accounts, James Gunn has been working on Creature Commandos and Superman Legacy for a bit longer than he's been the head of DC Studios.
Mhm.
And everybody immediately went, oh man, this means they totally fucking gaslit Cavill and they were never planning to bring him back. Oh my god, fucking Warner Brothers is evil. First of all, yes. Second of all, no. Fucking, they probably wanted to bring Cavill back. They probably liked that idea, and then James went, it just doesn't work with what I want to do for this movie because of X reason. And they went, yeah, that makes sense. Let's break the news to him gently, because that's how shit fucking works creatively in big business Hollywood land, you idiots.
It's also like, it's Warner Brothers trying to hedge all their bets. They have James Gunn working on his project over here, and they're getting Henry Cavill as like, maybe Black Adam does really, really well, and people are excited for it, and we can go forward with that project.
Oh, it didn't do well? James, how would you like everything?
Like, that, basically, they were trying to, like, have their, like, a bunch of different plates spinning. James Gunn is the one that's still standing, so they took the plate off the spinner, put it on the table, and go, here you go. Try. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was him and Matt Reeves, and Matt Reeves went, I don't want to do a big universe. I just want to tell a story about Batman.
Yeah, it could have also been started as a Henry Cavill, and it evolved into something new as more and more, as James Gunn was able to get more and more of, like, the idea down.
Yeah.
You know, there's a large swath of what this could be, and here's the thing. Part of it is probably Hollywood bullshit.
Oh, it's definitely part of it, but also like it's not as direct and planned
Egregious.
and insidious as people want to think it is
Like,
the
they
thing.
didn't bring Henry Cavill back in to stab him in the back. They brought him back in as, like, a possibility.
Yeah, they didn't go like, oh man, we're about to ruin this man's whole career. They were just like, maybe we can work with you. That would be nice. We've made money off of you before.
Disappointed Peacemaker Season 2 is not one of the two projects. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked about this last week. Gunn said it's still coming. It's just coming later than expected.
Yeah, The Rock also used his considerable star power to push for Henry Cavill as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there is that. Like,
friggin' Dwayne, man.
Dwayneson.
Mm-hmm.
Creature Commandos gets major casting update. We got some casting news.
Yeah, James also in this same thread said to somebody that like Creature Commandos is about to go into production and that they're almost done casting it, which says to me we could probably get an announcement about that fairly sooner than expected. And also it's just like, I'm interested that that's probably the first DC Studios project outside of the pre-existing ones that they're casting for, and it's an animated project, and they've said they want to have animated characters also be played in live action by the same people. So I'm like, who is Frankenstein? I want to know, bud.
I hope we got some cool ass voice acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we already know one member of the cast.
Yeah, Sean Gunn is playing the Rat Boy again.
Sean Gunn is in every single one of James Gunn's projects.
Yeah, that man has a paycheck for life thanks to his brother.
Oh yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You know what the fucked up part is? We know Sean Gunn from, like, Guardians and all of James Gunn's projects, and it's just been all doing that kind of stuff.
Sean Gunn is the guise of James Gunn shit. James Gunn, the Toshiki Inoue of American superheroes.
Here's the thing. My mother and my sister love this one comedy drama show called Gilmore Girls.
Oh, is he in Gilmore Girls?
He is a major supporting character in Gilmore Girls.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. My mom and my sisters have always been into Gilmore Girls, but I've only ever seen like bits and pieces of it, and I've never noticed him.
His character called Gus, I believe. Like,
I feel like I've heard that name in Gilmore Girls clips.
Like, he is a dude who shows up for, like, a joke, and that's it. But he's like in damn near every episode I've ever fucking walked through the room and saw them watching.
So what, is he like the bulk of Gilmore Girls? The bulk and skull?
He's the bulk and skull of Gilmore Girls. You nailed it.
Nice.
You nailed it on the head. He comes in. He has a weird fucking idea to try and make money. Everyone goes like, "Oh, Gus."
That's
And
great. That's great. Good for him.
So, like, that's a really well-loved, popular show. He gets royalties from that, too. Sean Gunn's a smart man.
Sean Gunn's a smart man. Sean Gunn's a man who has had a good career. Oh, man. Sean Gunn, come on Modular Components and discuss your career with us sometime.
And this one from The Hollywood Reporter. Oh, this is real newsboy stuff, not just from comic book websites. Ooh. DC drama Dead Boy Detectives moves to Netflix from HBO Max.
Yeah, so I had no fucking idea about this, but apparently there is a Warner Brothers streaming show that's been in production for quite a while called Dead Boy Detectives, which is an adaptation of an obscure-ass DC comic I'd never heard of. And it was going to go on HBO Max, but because it's not going to be part of the DC Cinematic Universe going forward, they're moving it to Netflix, which some people are calling like, oh, they're dumping it onto a dying streaming platform because it can't contribute to the cinematic universe anymore. And I'm like, bro, they said they were gonna like be very specific about the branding going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, this will probably die because of getting put on Netflix, which is a dying streaming platform now, but oh well.
Netflix going the way of Blockbuster. Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. It's not like they're putting a John Constantine show that was in development on Netflix. It's not like Keanu's Constantine sequel is going on Netflix.
It's also like not the first DC thing that would be on Netflix. Hello, Sandman.
Crusader on Amazon Prime.
But like, Sandman's on Netflix right now.
Yeah. But Sandman's not going to be part of that shit.
No.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not. It seems to be like... from everything I've seen about the production of that, it seems to be very much... Neil Gaiman wanted to do an adaptation of Sandman wholly separate from DC Comics, and DC Comics just basically was like, alright, here's our part of the license. Go make it based off of your own ideas. No,
I heard it was getting a season 2.
Yeah, no, it's getting a season 2. It's already been in production.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman has been talking about it on Tumblr.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman's on Tumblr.
Yeah. Neil Gaiman would be on Tumblr.
Oh, he's been on Tumblr for fucking years.
Him, Will Wheaton, frickin' what's her name, 70s Wonder Woman, they're all on Tumblr. All the cool kids are on Tumblr. All the cool boomers are on Tumblr.
Well, here's the thing. Neil Gaiman's been on Tumblr for, since, 2011?
Oh, I'm sure. I don't doubt it. Will Wheaton's been on Tumblr for a long-ass time.
Yeah, no. Not as far as I'm aware. It hasn't been canned.
Yep, that's not been in the news on this show, but then again, we've never really covered the Sandman show, because I ain't read fucking Sandman, so I forget it exists half the time.
Yeah. Hey, you ready for some comic book news?
I would love some comic book news. Shall we discuss?
First up, our big Marvel event for the year, Ultimate Invasion.
Yep, Jonathan Hickman and Brian Hitch bringing back the Ultimate Universe, baby.
First things first, I gotta say, why are there 2 Reed Richards?
Because we're getting the Maker and we're getting regular Reed Richards probably.
I also just realized what it is. The guys on the right-hand side are from 616. The guys on the left are 1610.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming through, and the Maker's breaking through.
Yeah, he's going back home. He's gonna come home and fuck shit up.
Here's the thing. We've seen brief things of the Ultimate Universe here and there.
But it's not been a thing in at least 5-6 years.
No, it has not been a thing. You will see brief glimpses of it. And it's just it's either exactly what you think Ultimate Comics is like, oh, it's edgy bullshit, or it's some of the characters going like, wow, we're a bunch of assholes. Maybe we should be better. You know, tried reading Ultimate X-Men. Oh yeah, no. Ultimate X-Men does not go good places.
Ultimate X-Men is the only Ultimate I've read. I read like the first trade or two. No, I read the first trade of Ultimate Fantastic Four too, because my library had those.
Spider-Man seems to be the only one that was like super consistent.
Yeah, and I know what happens in all of Ultimate Spider-Man, but I only know that for like reviews and synopses and shit.
In fact, I want hold on because I didn't set up the cameras for you to look at it. So let me do that real quick.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, until like literally yesterday, I was like, how the fuck are they bringing the Ultimate Universe back? I thought Galactus ate that shit, and Miles and Reed were the only survivors a while ago.
No, actually, you saw the Ultimate Universe in the Venom book.
Yeah, no, I had to be reminded of that by somebody on Twitter the other day.
Okay, so you can see this now. You can see the what's being broadcasted out.
Yeah.
Look at the hold on. Look at yourself.
I'm looking at myself.
Okay, look at these guys right here and tell me what's the thing that links them all together?
Is that a bunch of Illuminati boys right there?
Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Namor, Black Panther, Reed Richards, Black Bolt, Professor Xavier.
That's a bunch of Illuminati boys right there.
Jonathan Hickman, what are you doing?
John!
You madman!
John! What are you doing, John?
We're saying what are you doing in a good way, by the way, because we love Jonathan Hickman.
Mm-hmm. And remember, this is what he left X-Men to do. Because he said he left X-Men to work on a big Marvel project, so...
Like, here's the thing. That's the Illuminati, and the ones on the other side are the Ultimates. We have Giant Man, we have Iron Man.
Chat, what is he cooking? What is John cooking?
What is John cooking? We have Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Wasp, Cap, and Hawkeye.
Mm. Wait, didn't Ultimate Wasp get eaten?
Yeah!
John!
She got ate by the Blob, and then Giant Man ripped the Blob's head off.
John! What are you doing, John? What's going on here?
Johnny
Oh
boy.
my god, we're both gonna read this, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, if we get a return to the Ultimate Universe and Jonathan Hickman goes like, hey, here's my X-Men magic for the Ultimate Universe, here you go. Mm-hmm. And he just gets to play with the entire Ultimate... Oh my god.
And Bendis is just, like, sitting in a corner at the DC offices with his ears fucking ringing.
What if Jonathan Hickman's big Marvel project is him getting to make his own Marvel universe?
Oh my god.
Jonathan Hickman, you get to make your own Marvel subline. Here you go.
He fucking no. I think Bendis went to the Indies a minute ago, actually. But like, I'm just picturing Jonathan Hickman like looking at the email that says, "Sorry, we don't want you to fuck up Dan Slott's shit, so we're just gonna let him do what he wants and say Franklin's not a mutant." He's just like, "Fine, then I'll make my own Marvel universe with Blackjack and Franklin as a mutant."
Like, I don't think this is what's gonna happen. I think it's just a one and done story. But if this does lead to the Hickverse, if we get a Hickman Marvel universe,
I'd be down.
Oh my god.
He just retroactively makes the Ultimate Universe super important and popular again.
I know what they could call it. New Universe.
Oh my god!
Because Hickman loves using old shit!
That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, cool. I was about to say, do I need to explain New Universe to you?
No, I've read and witnessed several tellings of the history of Marvel Comics. I know about the new universe thing.
So yeah,
Look it up, people.
that's exciting. Let's see what happens there.
That's the big Marvel summer event.
But we also have another summer thing, which I think is going to be much more of a micro event.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, why aren't you writing comics? Because I need to. I would have to have connections and
Mm-hmm.
do stuff. So they're doing Contest of Chaos.
Yeah, which looks to just be like a big goofy everybody in New York gets fucked with event.
Yeah, it just seems to be a big fight. It seems to be less of like we're changing the concept of the status quo, and it's more of like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we just want to have a bunch of goofy action figures fighting.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's from two creators who haven't done anything super high profile before, so it's probably just another thing for Marvel to throw out and make some side cash real quick.
Yeah, not bad. It's probably like I'm gonna read it, but that's just more because fuck it.
Yeah.
It may be also a showcase for some characters we haven't seen a super ton of lately. You
Mhm.
know,
So I did just notice Pete. If you look at that cover, that advertisement, Pete's wearing the Parker Industries suit. I wonder what's up with that.
who knows?
Mhm.
But sometimes some people really know how to make lemonade out of lemons. Cause I have made it no qualm that the Black Panther book really went down in quality, in my opinion. The characterizations just off for so many different people, all that kind of stuff. And we're just kind of waiting for it to end and the new one to begin. Well, they released what the new Black Panther costume is going to look like for the new run. And it's hype as shit. Look at this.
You like this, okay?
I like it because it's based on what they're saying, based on what the story is. He is now a Wakandan vigilante.
Hmm.
He is on the run from the Wakandan government. And he's like, no, fuck you. I'm the Black Panther. I protect the people of Wakanda. And he's just going rogue.
See, that's a cool concept, but like without any of that context, I just looked at this and I went, "Wow, this looks kind of weirdly '90s."
Oh, I
And
like it
that
too because it's
and that
90s.
cape's not going to work at all when you translate it to action figures.
Oh, no. But in a general just design aesthetic, it looks cool.
I mean, it's not bad, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Black Panther's one of those costumes that I'm like, don't fuck with that too much. That's a wheel that does not need to be reinvented.
I do like the design on his face though. Let's get real up close and personal on this guy. Look,
Well, I mean, that's the reason they change costumes so much these days, Buster. They're always thinking about getting more action figures made.
but I like the detailing on the hands, the
Mhm.
claws.
The claws on the gloves are cool. I'll give it
Like here's the
that.
thing: you take off all the accessories, the bandoliers, the kunai, the shield, the cape, and the side thing. You just
Yeah.
have a lot of really cool detail for a Black Panther costume.
Yeah, no, those hip pouches though, that's really offensive to me. That feels super just put there for the sake of extra detail.
Yeah, like I love the tabby shoes, like the Japanese ninja shoes.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, they're good. I like the costume, and just the idea of him being Wakanda Batman, where he's on the run and no one trusts him.
Mm.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah. Also, this is being written by Eve Ewing,
Yeah.
so
DC announces Night Terrors.
yeah, so this is DC's big summer event. It's going to be another Joshua Williamson joint. And it's going to be focused around a murder mystery starting in the Hall of Justice that the Justice League and Deadman try to solve and get led into the realm of nightmares, which is going to be a new dimension existing in this new DC multiverse. Uh, and I gotta say, a little underwhelmed. A little underwhelmed because horror is not really my thing. I don't particularly love it. And the last Williamson event wasn't didn't really live up to the hype for me. So I'm going into this with very tepid expectations. I'll give it a shot, but I'm not expecting anything amazing out of it.
I do like the concept of like Batman staring up at like a very nightmarish version of Batman.
Hmm.
Superman's doing the same with him. Wonder Woman, it's a neat
Yeah.
concept.
And the free comic book day cover there at the bottom is pretty cool, where it's like you got them as like their worst nightmares in the phones. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. It's Superman's worst version of himself, but Batman's a kid.
Hmm.
All right.
It's like underneath all this armor, I'm still just a weak little boy. That's
I
that's that's saying something.
Yeah, that's saying something. It's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
Hey, still on the idea of moons and darkness and everything, we got a new DC anti-hero.
Yeah, this is Evelyn. Oh God, I completely blanked on the name there. Let me look. Let me. Oh my God. Marilyn
Marilyn Moonlight.
Moonlight. She is going to be appearing in the next issue of Superman next month, and is apparently going to be a new anti-hero operating out of Metropolis that will be a big old stick in Superman's craw. And I like this costume. It's maybe a little over ambitious in some ways,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's a fairly cool kind of throwbacky, pulpy look, and always for trying to make new characters, even if a lot of new characters these days end up being boring as hell.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing.
Hmm.
Feels a little Moon Knighty.
A little bit, a little bit.
I mean, that's mainly just a face mask. DC
Yeah.
gives Green Arrow a new costume.
Yeah, so we
Photo in
also
here?
got the solicitations for in the tweet. For
In the tweet.
Green Arrow number 2, the second issue of that series, which will be coming out in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Ollie's gonna be switching costumes pretty quick in this to a more like techno future McFarlane action figure looking version. And I gotta admit, not feeling it with this fam. I like classic Hood Green Arrow or classic just straight up Robin Hood Green Arrow, and this is it's a little too far in the tech direction for me. But I still got fingers crossed the story will be good, and the story can always justify this look.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
Hmm.
We also got Power Comics Incorporated announced March 1st. G.I. Joe comics. We got some G.I. Joe comics.
Yeah, this company, which doesn't really seem to be that big of a name. They've only published a handful of titles so far. Is teasing a big GI Joe related announcement coming on March 1st, and a lot of people are immediately saying, "Oh, this is the new licensor for Transformers and GI Joe, I guess." Which could be interesting. It does line up with the fact that Hasbro, post Marvel, has liked to invest in smaller publishers by giving them the license. Like Dreamwave was a big unknown at the time. IDW was very unknown before they got Transformers and GI Joe. But Power Comics Inc. just seems a little suspect because you look at a lot of their books they published, it looks like just send ups of classic Marvel stuff, and you look at their website and well, it looks like it was made with WordPress in 2012 and hasn't been updated since.
Hold on,
So
I'm a googling real quick. Power Comics Inc.
mhm. Also apparently there's a store with that name 4 hours from me because I did Google them too myself.
Yeah,
Uh
I'm looking at it is straight up 70s, 80s Marvel send ups.
yeah, so I don't know about this. Now, this could also not be that they've had the license. We don't have the full announcement yet. We'll know next week. But oh man, I hope this turns out better than it looks like it will because I'm not too optimistic looking at their portfolio
Have you looked on the website to see if they're there?
to see if what's there.
If these books are there.
Oh no, I should have done that. Sorry.
That's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. I mean, you're right to be scared, Buster, but also like I'm more cautious than I'm optimistic, is what I'm saying. But I want to believe. I mean, we've heard from Larry Hama that he's still going to be writing the book, so
Yeah.
hmm,
Man's a fucking tank. He just keeps going and going.
yeah. He does not care where his paycheck's coming from as long as it says for writing G.I. Joe comics on it.
We'll know more next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking
Well,
at their Twitter.
yeah, that's going to be a busy Wednesday, man. Because we've also got friggin' Mandalorian season 3 kicking off, which we're not going to cover on this show. That might be an AF.5 down the road or something. But we've got that. There's going to be another episode of Bad Batch that week. There's going to be some Toku stuff popping off that day. And another bit of news pertaining to this show coming along in just a little bit.
Well, first things first, we got the final piece of comic book news. Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici reunite for a new shared comics universe in Void Rivals.
Yeah, Void Rivals is a new book that's coming from the creative team behind Oblivion Song, which I never finished, but I read the first couple issues of and did really like. It's just I dropped off of Current in general after that, so I never got back to it. But this is pretty promising news. You know, Robert Kirkman's still churning out new ideas all these years later.
I started the Fire book he did, and I liked the start of it. I just fell off of it, not because it's just because I stopped reading weekly at the time too.
Yeah, no. So this is probably be something interesting to check out, especially since it seems to be the start of a new universe of books.
Yeah. Robert Kirkman has done well for himself in the world of comic books. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's
kind of the 2000s version of Todd McFarlane, actually.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He's the first person other than the original founders to join the head honchos of Image.
Correct you are.
Like he's the first one after like McFarlane, Jim Lee, Eric Larson, all those guys.
Yeah.
He's the first one to come back up and was like, "Yo, no, I'm buying part of Image. I'm Image now." Image is his comic book company. Well, Skybound is his comic book company, and they publish through Image.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
he's been in there doing the work. And yeah, Buster, I guess you're right to worry about Transformers as well. But remember, they specifically said G.I. Joe. So while people are assuming G.I. Joe and Transformers are going to come as a package deal, it could be that Transformers is going somewhere else entirely. But we don't know. We just have to wait and see. Like you all should wait and see this week's Analytical Fanboys, because Analytical Fanboys is returning because it's the end of the month. We got a new episode coming this Friday where we take a look at puppet history as suggested by the writer of Boingos himself. It's going to be a good time. It's me, it's Boingo, it's Buster, chatting about a goofy blue professor, man, who likes history. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. So don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to enable notifications so that gets delivered right to your sub box, along with every episode of the No Prize podcast the moment we go live.
And here's another thought. Nothing says that they have the license to do the ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
They may just have the license to do one story, and that may be how Hasbro wants to do it from now on. With like, do you have a Transformers or G.I. Joe story you want to tell? You have the license for 6 issues.
Yeah. It could literally be like, yeah, you're not continuing Larry's run, but here, write a book based on the classified figures.
Like, there's nothing that you say that can't be done that way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how you word the contract.
Yeah, it's very unorthodox for today's landscape, but I could see it happening. It's also like, we can't forget, it was rumored that Skybound was going to get the license for a good while there. And I've also heard people recently saying it could go to Boom because Boom has the Power Rangers license. So it's very up in the air. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this will materialize into something interesting and not entirely negative come Wednesday.
Like, here's the biggest thing you got to realize about comic book licensing. Disney owns Marvel Comics. Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck are being licensed by Dynamite.
Because they have an interest in doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason... I mean, I'm sure there's people at Marvel who, like, really wanted to do Star Wars comics, but I'm sure the reason it happened is the frickin' Dark Horse comic expired, and somebody at Disney went, oh, but we have a comic company. Why would we renew that? Marvel, start making Star Wars comics now!
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, they could have just went like, hey, do a Darkwing Duck book. But they aren't. Dynamite is. No, you never know with licensing. You never know with what they want to do. I'm just glad that like independent publishing in America has like healed up after the bust in the 90s and the drought of 2008.
Oh yeah, we're a far cry from where we were when you and I were boyos.
But you know what? We got some toy news. She-Hulk TV series, Hot Toys Daredevil. Look at this boy.
So funny story. This dropped literally while we were doing No Prize last week.
Oh, damn.
Like, I got off the show and I opened my phone, and like one of the first things I saw was this.
It looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks real solid. Very very nice representation of the suit from the show. Really cool to see a head sculpt of Charlie Cox where he doesn't look miserable.
Yeah, he looks somewhat happy. This is
Oh.
okay. I want to preface. I understand outside of context this phrase will be really bad. I hope he has bare feet accessories so you can recreate the walk of happiness.
That would be great. Oh my god.
Look at this man.
Yeah. Oh man, let's get to that accessories page right now. I gotta know. You've made me want to know.
Alright, here's these no, it doesn't look like it.
Aw, Hot Toys, come on.
You cannot replicate the walk of happiness because it's not a walk.
I mean,
of
I'm
shame.
sure there's 12-inch nude feet going around there on the independent action figure market somewhere, but it's not in the box.
It looks really good though.
Yeah,
really
good ass Hot Toys.
Mezco Fair 112 Collective X-Men Wolverine.
Yeah, Mezco's I can't believe it's not Toy Fair is still going on, and one of the things they posted this week was a teaser for a new 112 Collective Wolverine, which looks to be in that training uniform that is so in vogue with action figures right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably see more of that in a couple
and
months.
we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 picks and details. We got the Marvel Legends guy.
Yeah, the whole wave of Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel Legends was revealed on, I believe it was Gizmodo, had the initial reveal of these. But the whole wave for that movie is going to be going up for pre-order pretty soon. Or I think it actually is already up for pre-order and should be dropping around the time of the movie. And yeah, they're just straight up giving you that whole team in the new uniformed looks along with Adam Warlock.
Adam looks great.
And build a figure Cosmo. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the fact that they've gone back to a smaller Build-A-Figure because that's something they haven't done in a good long while. And with the price increases and whatnot, it feels a little scuzzy to some people. And, like, fair enough, but also I can't see them releasing Cosmo on her own. And I'm happy to get her any way possible because Cosmo was freaking adorable in the holiday special, and I expect her to continue to be in Volume 3.
Yep, we got Drax. He looks great.
Lot of reuse going on with Drax actually, because he's got the head and the legs from the first movie, but those are new arms and new torso.
Yeah. We got Groot. Look at this good old Groot with a little baby rocket.
Buff Groot is actually going to be a deluxe release separate, and I think that's to come with a certain potentially spoilery accessory. But a lot of people have also been using that as a reason of like, oh well, last year when the prices weren't so high, they would have made Buff Groot to build a figure, and I'm like, calm down. It still looks good. Are you gonna buy it or not? Calm down.
We got Sean Gunn's character.
Yeah, Kraglin. Who has a lot of reuse from Yondu, actually, not just the arrow, but that's pretty much all the same parts except for a new upper left leg and a new left arm.
Yeah.
And obviously the head's new, but like you get that.
But it's nice. Hey, he's finally got a figure.
Yeah.
Mantis.
Yeah. And Mantis is entirely a new body. The head is the only bit of reuse from the Volume 2 Build-A-Figure of her. And I really like this new female body. I think it's going to be fun to mess around with for a lot of people, especially in the other use they've already gotten out of it.
Yeah, but it's nice to see Mantis. Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula is obviously on the same body as Mantis, which is another thing people have been kind of complaining about because the actresses are different heights, but like it's fucking toys, man. It's not always going to be perfect. They get it close enough for you for $25. And I think again this new body looks great, and it's going to be a really fun figure to mess around with. Yeah, the fucking heat sword arm, that's going to be cool to pose with.
Yeah, it looks good. Are you gonna go? Okay, there we just got more photos.
Yeah.
Rocket. Look at that little rocket.
Yeah, Rocket is probably my favorite of these reveals, actually, because look at all the articulation they packed in to that tiny body. Where was that with Spider-Ham and Rocket Raccoon, man? Those freaking legs. Looks like a great little figure.
Comes with a big ass, like, here's the thing. I can see so many people recoloring this guy to use it as like a Marvel vs. Capcom Rocket.
Yeah. Man.
And we got Star-Lord. Look at this boy.
Yeah, who's pretty much entirely reuse of his Volume 2 figure, except for the torso. That's a new torso, but those arms and legs are reuse. And the head is reuse, but I think those guns are a new sculpt. I think the guns are different this movie for some reason.
And they look pretty good. A good lineup for the movie.
Yeah, solid wave. I'm glad that they're just straight up giving us that whole uniform team look in a wave rather than stretching it out or doing some kind of weird exclusive thing.
And we're also getting a classic Power Man. Look at that boy.
Yeah, this was a reveal just a couple days ago by Dan Yoon on Twitter, and he said it's going to be part of a wave that will get its full reveal later this year. And I really like it. I think it's a fantastic upgrade from the old Toy Biz figure. But there's a little stuff, a little je ne sais quoi missing from it. I feel like there should probably be some more torso articulation and maybe like an alternate screaming head or something. Because as is, he looks a little stoic for some of the action poses you'd want to put Power Man in.
Yeah. I saw a funny little segment of an interview with Dwayne McDuffie talking about Power Man.
Okay.
Talking about the thing.
Has Dwayne McDuffie ever worked on Power Man?
No, but he was talking about the history of Power Man, of like, Sweet Christmas, of like, why does Power Man say Sweet Christmas? And he was saying, well, they wanted to actually try and do good by the character when they were creating him. So these white writers went to pick up some black written books written by black men, to kind of get the language right. It just so happens they picked up the one book series written by a guy who was taking the piss out of everything.
Oh no.
And was doing it as a satire for other black people who would like recognize it, like, I see the joke here. It's South Park, you know, it's like over exaggerated, hyper, all this kind of stuff. But this white dude didn't know the joke. So he thought it was, like, genuine.
He thought Sweet Christmas was a thing people actually say.
Yeah, so, like, he put that kind of stuff in there, and it's just, like, the heart was there, but he didn't have the knowledge, and he didn't think to actually talk to someone.
That makes so much sense, and also makes me feel 10 times more stupid for just thinking, like, oh, Sweet Christmas is a thing people used to say, and we play it up as cornball and kitschy now, but because we still want to keep it around for the character.
Like, I just think it's, like... And Dwayne McDuffie was laughing the whole time. It's just, like, it's a funny thing. It's not, like...
Yeah, it's not like he's mad.
It's not like it's a bad thing that this remnant of cultural miscommunication happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun story to like learn and like
Yeah.
researching is good and looking it up is good. But
Mhm.
talk to people instead of just going like, "Oh, I'm good."
Yeah,
Don't assume you got all the research.
definitely.
But we also there's a fan stream for Marvel Legends happening on March 1st. You already mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, as I teased earlier in the show, this it's going to be a very busy Wednesday,
Oof.
folks. And this is probably going to be the stream. Like, there's been a lot of Marvel Legends reveals this month,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure they'll recap a lot of the stuff they showed us this month at the start of this stream. But I also think there's going to be a lot of new stuff we haven't seen yet in this stream as well, because this is probably going to be the event where they're like, okay, here's everything that we would have shown you at Toy Fair had Toy Fair still happened in the spring this year.
Yeah. Well, it'll be nice to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a good solid 20 minutes of me just yammering on about toy news. Aren't you all excited?
Toy news. Maplex Terminator and Dark Knight Rises Batman and Horse.
Yeah, the monthly Mayfex solicitations are in, and there is actually some comic book stuff this month, because last month was like all classic movie stuff, and we get a little bit of classic movie here. The endoskeleton looks fucking great, but I'm not a fan of the price tag. It's gonna be like $120, and Mayfex figures are usually $80. They're getting hit by those economic hard times now, and it feels especially difficult with them because like these are good ass looking figures, but like $120 for an endoskeleton and two rifles. I don't know, fam.
I mean,
Um,
have you gotten any good Terminator figs?
no, I haven't. I had a few of the NECA ones, but I've since sold them, and the NECA ones were okay. But I have been hearing good things about the two Arnolds they've done, so I might pick up one of those. I might pick this up eventually. We'll see. We'll see.
We also got Batman. Look at this Batman. Good
Yeah,
looking
this is like
Batman.
the fifth fucking Dark Knight's Returns Batman they've done. And it's the black and gray with the yellow oval. That's the difference because they've done a black and gray with the regular bat. They've done a black and blue with the yellow oval, and they've also done a battle damaged black and gray with the yellow oval. But now here's a non-battle damaged version with a horse that doesn't have much articulation, so you can replicate that one specific panel, and an accessory for that battle damaged version, and an accessory that you can only really take advantage of if you have one of the other Batmans, because the downed cowl only makes sense if you have a Bruce Wayne head, and this figure does not come with a Bruce Wayne head.
Yeah, it looks good.
Mm-hmm. It looks really good, but it also looks like you're only going to really enjoy it if you already have one or two of their other Dark Knight Returns figures.
We got DC Multiverse toys. Titans Build a Wave.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit about this last week, where they had revealed one or two of these already, but now we have the full reveal of their Titans Build-A-Figure wave, and it looks pretty good. I like most of the choices here. Like this fucking Nightwing looks like picture perfect from the current Tom Taylor Bruno Redondo run. Like that face especially just screams Bruno Redondo's art to me. Only complaint here, he doesn't come with his sticks. No sticks for Dick.
No
What's going
Scrimma
on?
sticks. No Scrimma sticks.
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
Looks
Uh,
great though. Like this is genuinely the first figure I'd say like 100%. That's like pitch perfect comic guy.
yeah. The ass sculpt is maybe a little bit lacking.
I can
I just noticed that.
yeah.
But it's
Donna
okay.
Troy.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with this costume for Donna Troy. Not sure why she's got Aquaman's logo on her belt, but it looks solid. And I mean, like, Donna Troy is a woman of 1,000 costumes, so I can't really complain about any specific choice you make with her.
No, but it looks good. It looks solid.
Mhm.
And then you have Raven.
Yeah, I believe this is Raven's most current modern look, and I don't dislike it. It's a good update on the classic, though maybe a bit too much blue. Not a big fan of the frilly collar, but you know, it's not the worst update I've ever seen for Raven. And I love that it actually comes with effects parts. That's not something you see with Multiverse a whole lot.
It looks good though. And then you have Arsenal. Does he really have those fucking tattoos?
He has those fucking tattoos. He has those fucking goggles. He has that goddamn trucker hat. I hate this look for Roy. I hate it so fucking
Hey,
much.
at least it looks accurate to the fucking comics.
Yeah, it's a good figure of it. It's just a look I despise. Because it's the fucking Red Hood and the Outlaws look, or the look that started there.
And then we got Beast Boy going the little Beastie Boy.
Yeah, we got fucking Brute Beast Boy is the Build-A-Figure, which I don't know if I think that's the best choice. Like it would have been cool if they took the fucking horse mold and did that in Beast Boy colors.
That'd be cute.
Um, but as is, it looks all right. I've never seen this look before, so it did really throw me when I first saw it. It's probably from some recent Titans book I haven't read because I actually haven't read a lot of Teen Titans comics. But yeah, looks solid. It'll probably be chunky and fun to pose around.
Yeah. But that's the whole wave. It looks good. It looks like a very solid, like, comic good wave.
Mm-hmm. And for the people like me who do tend to complain about Chunky Beast Boy being the Build-A-Figure.
Regular gold label Beast Boy.
Yeah, this looks great. I'm very happy with the fact that they're at least giving us a way to get a normal looking Beast Boy to go with the team. It would be funny if they also released like another version of this that just had an eye patch on the head to make it like current comic Beast Boy. But as is, very, very solid looking semi-modern Gar.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that Beastie Boy. Mezco Toy Fair news. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Look at these turtles.
Yeah, Mezco unveiled 2 new lines during this week's bit of Mezco Toy Fair. One of which we actually won't be discussing here, but we'll be discussing over on This Week in Toku, so make sure you listen to that on Tuesday.
Go listen to it.
But the other one is their new Seamless Action line, which is specifically going to be for comic characters that work best in seamless bendy skeleton bodies. They're going to be doing this specific set of original Mirage Ninja Turtles in bodies that are just like a articulated skeleton with a rubber body over top of it. And if you're not a big fan of articulation breaking up a sculpt, this is probably phenomenal looking to you. And it looks really solid for me, but whenever I see this kind of stuff get announced, I'm like, yo, that's cool. But how long until that rubber starts drying out?
Yeah. They look really good though.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got they're doing the Shadow.
Yeah, 112 Collective The Shadow was another announcement from this week's bit of Mezco Toy Fair. We only have this one teaser image to go off of, but I love that Mezco is continuing with the weird, like, pulp, old school, you don't really remember it's comics, but it is comics characters, because they've done Conan, they've done Popeye, they've been doing Dick Tracy, and now they're breaking into The Shadow. Just really cool. That they're keeping those characters alive and giving them really good modern toys. Who's next, I wonder? Are we going to get Buck Rogers? Are we going to get the Phantom?
Buck Rogers Phantom would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
We at least know Rey Mysterio would be happy.
Yeah.
The joke is he once dressed as Rey Mysterio for a wrestling match. Rey Mysterio once dressed as the Phantom for a wrestling match.
Mm-hmm. And it's like one of his most iconic looks because people love that match.
Buck your own Rogers. Oh. Oh.
I'll flash your Gorgon.
Green Hornet.
Oh yeah, Green Hornet would be a great pick.
Green Hornet.
Mm-hmm.
We're already getting a Rocketeer.
Yeah, they actually work with. They should, if they do that, they need to actually work with Bruce Lee's estate and get a Kato figure made.
Ooh. Yeah. Hey, guess what?
Is it comic time?
Yeah, because we got through the news.
We finally arrived at the comic segment of our comic podcast. It's time for the main event, everybody.
Hey, guess what I read?
What did you read?
Deadpool, number 4.
Hey, is that
Lady Deathstrike?
I feel like, oh, okay. I thought that was Honey Badger for some reason.
No, that's Lady Deathstrike. Okay, so a lot of the issue is just Deadpool trying to fight off Doc Ock and Harbinger.
Fair enough.
So they're doing all that kind of stuff. Blah 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 blah. Some sweet moments because the girl that Deadpool has been flirting with for the series is like genuinely like going like, "Oh, you're doing great, sweetie. Go get him."
Hey,
It's cute.
He's got a supportive girlfriend.
Yeah.
How long's that gonna last?
Oh, let me explain. Okay, so they're fighting, and he has a symbiote inside of his system. Well, the thing that's keeping the symbiote sedated gets knocked off of Deadpool, so the symbiote takes over. And then, like, they do some things, blah, blah, blah. Deadpool's kidnapped, alright? The girlfriend character is, like, disarmed, all that kind of stuff, and she's getting up, and she looks at Lady Deathstrike, and she heals her, and goes like, alright, cool, you're helping me save Deadpool. Why the fuck would I help you save Deadpool? Oh, because I just healed you, but here's the thing, it's also a deadly poison, and I'm the only one who can make your antidote, so you're gonna help me fix my arm, and then we're gonna go get my boy Deadpool. Literally, she uses the words, my boy Deadpool.
My boy.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's cute. She's like, worried, blah, blah. And the symbiote does this thing. Guess who's back? Back again.
Oh, no.
Cletus back. Tell a friend. Cletus Cassidy is back, baby. You can't kill him. No, that's the last panel. Cletus is back, and it's just like, yo, what's up?
Okay, next issue. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's good. It's fun. Deadpool is at a great even keel of like, he's funny, he's jokey, he's not annoying, he's not cloying, he's not pointing to the camera going like, hey, look at you. It's good Deadpool. It's good Deadpool writing.
Sick.
Yeah. I also read Darkwing Duck #2.
Hey, how's that book going, buddy?
Very pretty standard Darkwing Duck plot.
Hey, I actually know things about Darkwing Duck because I finished DuckTales 2017 now.
Hey, so they go to a toy store. The toy store weird shit starts happening. It's Quackerjack. And if you don't know who Quackerjack is basically Darkwing Duck's Joker.
Yes.
So Quackerjack's doing the whole thing. There's a whole funny joke of like, your catchphrases, they don't work together. What do you mean? Well, you go, like, one of them is playtime, and then the other one's playtime's over. They don't work together. And it's like a cute little, like, we know the show, we understand these things, the catchphrases, we're making a reference about them and a joke about them, and it's like,
we're fans just like you, reader.
Oh, because here's the thing, they play it off great. The Quackerjack goes like, oh, well, here's the thing. He presses the button and all the toys start activating. Now it's playtime. And then they grab Darkwing Duck and now it goes, and now playtime's over. Do you get it now? And it's like, oh, I get it now. And it's like, cute.
That's pretty good.
So, like, they worked into, like, it's good. So here's the thing. Goslin does the Goslin thing. She gets into danger, and Darkwing's like, yo, get out of danger. She goes, sure, Dad. Lies. Gets in danger. So he's all saves the day. He's Darkwing Duck. He does all the things. They're at home now, and he goes like, you know what? I think it's time to think about retiring. Stop being Darkwing Duck. Because if I keep being Darkwing Duck, you're going to keep wanting to help me. Because I know you're a good person, and you would want to help me out and save the day. So if I just quit being Darkwing Duck, you don't get put in danger. And it's just like, okay. That's
immediate thought. I want to know what Launchpad thinks about this.
Oh, Launchpad's like, you know what, DW? I completely understand. I guess I got to go get a new job being a sidekick for someone else.
Oh,
like he's
my man.
He's like, yo, DW, great. I love you for it. But like, I'm gonna go help someone else. I can go help somebody. And like, they actually reveal how Darkwing is able to fund everything.
Oh.
He bought a shit ton of Beanie Babies in the 90s.
This motherfucker.
Like legit, Gaston goes like, "Hey, wait a second, how have you funded all this?" And Launchpad goes like, "You think it's really time to tell her, DW? She deserves to know what puts food on her plate." He opens a wardrobe and a bunch of Beanie Babies fell out. He was
That's
like,
great.
"It's fucking hilarious."
Are they like all the Princess Diana one too?
No, they're a fake Beanie Baby knockoff, like they're McDonald's, you know?
Yeah, they're Whack-Donalds.
Yeah, they're McDonald's. This is great because I thought, oh, it's just gonna be fun, Darkwing Duck little mini adventures. It's good, and it's like,
But it sounds like you're getting some actual pathos and continuing story.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Nice.
It's good. I also finished Savage Avengers because it ended this issue.
Hey.
They fight Ultron. They beat Ultron. The whole thing. Burger royalty. Yes. The whole thing is narrated of basically like these guys were a bunch of fucking dickheads and anti-heroes, but through this adventure they learned to rely on each other and see each other as friends and allies, and now they're fighting for the fate of humanity. And aren't they, it isn't that the true mark of heroism, of like trying and fighting and failing and trying again and all this kind of stuff? You know,
no matter how many times you get knocked down, you always get back up.
Yeah, and he's just like, you look at them fighting, being dope ass heroes, and then Elektra goes into the jail and says like, "Oh look, there's prisoners that Ultron like held captive," and it's a bunch of 2099 like heroes. It's Ravage, it's Spider-Man 2099, it's a bunch of like bunch of fucking 2099 fan favorite dudes, and they're fighting all the things, and it's like, they do it. They save the day. Miles uses this web slinger, the web shooter, to like break the thing and save the day. So he doesn't save the day by being a Deathlock. He does it by being Spider-Man. And it's like, thematic resonance, all that kind of stuff. They save the day. They all get sent back to their own time. So all the heroes that come from the regular comics, the 616 ones, are like going like, "Oh man, whoa, what a fucking crazy adventure." Meanwhile, Miles, who's currently from a different universe, is a Deathlock. He gets sent to the Watcher. And Uatu goes like, "Hey, yo, Miles. So you were a weird time anomaly, and I couldn't really intervene. But here's the thing. You know how they say in quantum mechanics, observation inherently changes things? I observed you. And by me observing you, you became the hero of your own story, and you were able to save the problem that like you were wrapped up in. You did good, hero. Here's your reward. I'm sending you back to your time, healed, no longer a Deathlock, an adult Miles Morales. He gets to go home and like live a life of happiness."
Aw, isn't that love?
The Miles we saw in this whole story got to like he got his happy ending. He earned it. And so all these anti-heroes are back on Earth now, and they're just going like, well, what do we do now? Do we just go our separate ways? And then Fing Fang Foom shows up and goes like, "Fuck you!"
Hey.
So all these Savage Avengers, Elektra, Anti-Venom, Cloak, Dagger, Weapon X, and Black Knight, they all go like, "You know what? Fuck it. We did it once, let's prove it one last time. Let's show the world we're really Avengers." And it's just like, fuck yeah. Let these anti-heroes and miscreants of the Marvel Universe get a chance to show their true heroism, and people get to know about it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dope.
For a run that got really derailed because one of the main characters they couldn't use anymore halfway through, this is pretty good. This is a pretty solid little love letter to the anti-heroes of Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
do you think
good.
they'll still be able to do trades a bit because of the whole Conan thing?
I don't know. But for what it is, it's fun, it's good. Savage Avengers, I give it a thumbs up.
Yay.
You read Nightwing.
Yeah, Nightwing number 101, baby.
See, okay, no, here's the thing. That's Donna Troy's belt. It's not an Aquaman thing. It's the point of the W in Wonder Woman. They just didn't recognize that and didn't continue it.
Yeah, no, they rendered it weirdly on that. They made it like a separate piece.
Yeah, but like you can see what it's meant to be on that costume.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
We solved
this issue,
it!
So this issue kicks off a new arc where fucking Neron is up to some shit. Remember Neron, everybody? Yeah.
Holy shit!
Neron apparently is pissed off about the daughter of Blockbuster being having psychic powers and being trained by Raven, and so he goes to a fucking demon guy that he has a favor with, and they decide like, okay, we got to get this kid away from the Titans. How do we do that? We got to fucking get the Titans all in an uproar, and we got to mislead them. So they plant a body underneath the rubble of Titan's tower. And in that body seems to be some sort of Clayface type character. Some character that can like shapeshift and morph in a very Clayface type way. I'm not sure if it's that, if it's going to be Lady Clay, or if it's going to be some other character I don't
It's gonna be the Clayface that
well.
has like the face helmet that just melts people.
Yeah, it's gonna be that. No, this person literally does morph into Nightwing for like the end of issue reveal, and it's pretty good. There's some good character pathos with Starfire getting really upset that they found a body because she was the headmistress of Titan's Academy, and she thought she had gotten everybody out during the whole Deathstroke attack during Dark Crisis. And it's also completely perplexing to them, and like the government has to get involved because the body is the king of Bladava, who has been missing for like 3 weeks, and they're like, how did this fucking body get here, and what is going on? So big mystery developing, and I'm sure we're gonna see how that goes. Also, there's a backup now written by Marv Wolfman, and is kind of odd because it's Marv Wolfman writing, and it feels very out of its era, but it is very specifically of this era because it's current Nightwing and John Kent Superman teaming up to do a thing. And I don't know if I'm going to keep reading that, because it also just feels weird to suddenly add a backup in the middle of this run, especially right after issue 100. It almost feels like they're trying to keep that sweet double-sized issue price going.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's fun to throw Marv Wolfman a bone, especially when they're doing a Titans-centered story.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to, like, your history, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just
Can I just say one thing? I don't like Starfire's costume. I'm looking at it on the cover. Do not like that costume.
Sucks. I fucking hate it, honestly.
Like, here's the thing. I don't mind it being like more like covering her more. I don't mind that. It's the shape and the purple. It needs to be purple.
The color layout is fucking weird, and what is with those shoulder pads, honestly?
Thin out the shoulder pads, make it purple.
Mm-hmm. She's had this look since Titans Academy, I think, and I've never liked it.
Also, Wally, you running backwards looks a little weird because you don't have the head thingies, and the lightning bolt there just makes it look like your chin is huge.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd cover, I'll admit.
I mean, Beast Boy, Nightwing, Donna, they look good. Cyborg looks pretty good. He's looking at us going like, what the fuck? Yeah. You ain't buying this book. I'm trying to remember if
Cyborg was even in this fucking issue, honestly. Because, like, everyone else on this cover shows up. Raven shows up, but I don't remember Cyborg doing anything in this issue, if I'm being honest.
That's why he's looking at it. That's why he's giving us a dirty look. He's like, I'm not even in this book. What am I doing here?
I better be getting paid for this.
But do you like it? It's good?
Yeah, it was okay. Not quite as good as the book has been up till now, but also not terrible.
All right. We both read Superman, Man of Steel, back in action.
Number one from Joshua Williamson, taking over the main Superman book. Uh, and I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about this run after the
Yeah.
first issue. I like a lot of the concepts introduced here. I like the new chief of police. I like the idea of Lois being editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet. I like the idea of Superman having a support staff forced upon him, and I like the idea of Lex being in his ear all the time. But it's all gonna depend on how that shit plays out from here.
It played out well enough in this one issue. I liked it.
Yeah, it was really solid. Like especially like the use of lesser villains that we haven't seen in a while. Loved Livewire in this issue.
And this is a really good, well-written Superman. He feels like,
Oh yeah, totally in character.
oh yeah. There's a lot of fun little bits in it. I also love how they immediately go like, "Hey, this isn't the permanent status quo going on from now on forever. Lois Lane is editor-in-chief temporarily. Perry White can come back. We already have a thing for it. Don't worry."
Yeah. Uh, and also just like I think the art in this is like 10 times better than the story. Like this is some gorgeous art that feels like where has this artist been their entire career? Because they should have been drawing Superman from day one. It's so bright, it's so warm, it's so dynamic. It's fucking pitch perfect for a Superman book.
This is really good. This is like, if you want to start I'm saying this, if you want to try some Superman, this is some good Superman.
Mm-hmm. And the artist's name is Jamal Can. Oh yeah, this is the person who drew that fucking Mary Marvel book I really liked.
Nice.
Yeah, Jamal Campbell. They do good work. Did great work on this book. Some fucking great panel layout. Like that opening panel where you just get Clark's backstory as like little flashes in the cape. That's such a cool idea.
It feels very much of like, hey, Superman. They have been doing a lot of weird things with Superman. Let's just do a bare bones basic Superman story. I like do it well.
It's the Morrison template of like all you really need to know is just bam, bam, bam. And then a little later in the book, you get like a little recap of the last two issues of Action Comics in a similar way with Lois and Clark talking about it.
Yeah, and like I love the idea of Lex going like, "Yo, I'm not trying to tell you what to do because like people are coming for you in Metropolis." It's like, no, I fucked up, and you're gonna have to deal with it, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Though I know he's lying, of course.
Oh, he's lying. He's 100% trolling to the max. That fucking Jor-El Lex. That's not something I ever thought I'd see.
Man,
it's so brilliant. And the way fucking Mercy sets it up too. Oh man, this is the best Mercy's been written in a minute too.
Oh yeah, but I would love to meet some of the scientists who are like genuinely happy to work with Superman. It's like, oh man, you do so much. You saved me that one time. I love to pay you back. And Superman just goes like, I want to help these guys, but fuck them. That's great.
He's like, oh, that would be great if, like, next issue there's a moment where he goes like, oh man, Alexis employees are actually really nice. Why the fuck do they work for him?
Oh, he has really good dental. Really? Oh yeah, great dental.
Yeah. But no, that's very solid Lombard? Start to this run.
Is that Lombard on the right-hand side of the cover? The sports writer?
Let me look at it. On the right-hand side?
Yeah, underneath Superman's hand. Above
That's
Barry.
the new chief of police they introduced.
Oh, it is. Right, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought the chief of police was a woman. I forgot.
You're probably thinking of Maggie Sawyer, who they do very quickly explain, like, no, she's over in Nightwing right now. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, Superman is good.
It's good book.
You read Clayface One Bad Day.
Yeah, so this is another one that I'd say not great. It's not on par with that initial Riddler story, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Because this is, first and foremost, just to clarify, this is Basil Karlo. This is the actor Clayface who turns into a big mud man. Because I know people get confused about which Clayface.
Okay, is that 4?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not even sure about the numbering, to be honest, because, like...
Time to go reread Mudpack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I grew up with the Batman cartoon from 2004, so my Clayface is freaking Ethan Bennett, who I don't think has ever even been in the comics.
No.
But this is a really interesting tale about Clayface actually trying to reform and make a go at being an actor in actual LA. So, like, the whole beginning of the issue is about him, like, adjusting to life, having a regular fucking waiting job with other, like, aspiring Hollywood people, and, like, going and auditioning for roles and stuff like that. Eventually, and it's, like, clear he has, like, a budding relationship with this one girl who's trying to finish her script, and he's friends with a couple other guys who are actors, and one of his buddies and him decide to go to an audition together. And the thing they're auditioning for seems to be like an adaptation of the Joker's backstory from One Bad Day. Like, it's... you see a flashback to it of, like, what they're trying to capture at one point, and the dialogue. It's this one big monologue that Clayface is trying to get right at the beginning of the comic is very clearly like a Hollywood manufactured ending to if that story didn't end in him actually becoming the Joker and getting back together with his wife. But he goes to the audition, and the casting director is like, "Yeah, you did a really good job, but could you, like, pep it up at the end there? We're looking to send the audience home happy at the end of this drama." And he's like, "Well, you don't understand. I have a vision for this character. I relate to him so much. There's so much sadness in his heart, and blah 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 blah." And she's like, "Oh, okay, don't worry. Well, don't call us. We'll call you," kind of a thing. He's like, "God damn it." And then him and his buddy are, like, driving later, and he had given his buddy, like, a piece of advice of, like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Just try your best," that kind of a thing. "We can all only do so much." And his buddy ends up telling him, "Hey, I got the part. They said they liked me because I read it in kind of a happy way. And they said it's really cool that, like, I'm an actual stand-up comedian because the character is, and they think they can market that in a cool way. So I guess I'm gonna..." And then Clayface just fucking kills him and turns into him. And so a couple days later, he goes to the first day of filming, and he shows up late, and they want to do the monologue first, and he reads it exactly the way he read it at the audition. And the director's like, "What the fuck was that? That wasn't what we discussed in the audition," referring to the other guy's audition that he's pretending to be. And he's like, "Well, you don't understand. I have a vision for this character. I relate to him so much. You got to understand, this guy's got so much sadness in his heart. This is a truly broken man." And he's like, "Oh God, you're going to be one of those actors. Okay. Everybody take 5. I got to call a man about a horse." And so he goes to his trailer, and his friend's agent comes in and goes like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Not only are you fired, but you might never get a role again. And now my reputation is tarnished. Don't you understand? There's a fucking hierarchy to shit when you're a new actor. You can't just fucking tell a director off like that." And he's like, "Yeah, all right." And then he kills her and turns into her. And then he goes and kills the whole crew and the director and turns into the director. And then we cut forward a few days, and he's talking to the head of the studio, and the head of the studio is like, "Yeah, sorry, man. We just decided to go another way. We're going to can the project. But maybe we can get you something in the Grey Ghost cinematic universe we're developing." And I'm like,
That's cute.
that's a commentary on some Warner Brothers shit, huh? And he's like, "What? You don't understand. I have a vision for this project." And, like, they imply through dialogue that Clayface has been making the movie entirely on his own with his powers. And the guy's like, I'm sorry, it's just, that was greenlit before I came in, and I don't really want to do it anymore. So, and then he just fucking kills the studio head and turns into him. And he goes back to the studio head's house, and he sees like how fucking stupid rich this guy is. Hey Nightmare, I'm talking about a fucked up Clayface comic where he's like, all right, I'm just gonna waste this dude's money. I'm just gonna ruin this dude's life because I already killed him. And he says, "Hey Butler, we're throwing a big stupid Hollywood party. Invite everyone on my contacts list, plus these people." And it's the two other friends he has from the waitering job. And they show up, and he's in the guise of the persona he had made, which he had literally been calling himself Clay White as his new persona in Hollywood. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And they're like, "Hey, Clay, we didn't know you were rich. Why are you working a waitering job?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. I have connections I was holding back. But I decided to cash in some favors, and we're going to have fun tonight. This is going to be a great time." And then he bumps into Bruce Wayne.
Ooh.
And he's like, "Oh, shit. Hey, what's up, man?" And he's like, "Hey, where's the studio head? I'll go get him. Don't worry." And then he comes back dressed as a studio head, and he's like, "Yeah, I heard you were throwing this party, and I just figured this would be a good time to check in on my investment, because, I really care about the Grey Ghost cinematic universe. The character was really important to me as a child."
That's cute.
And he's like, "Yeah, no, don't worry, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. I'll see you around. Have a good time at my party." And then he walks away, and Bruce gives that look like he knows what the fuck is going on. And so Clay goes and hangs out with his friends, and they're like, "Yeah, this is great. All of us hanging together at this big Hollywood party. We're getting so much networking done. This is going to be great for our careers." But where's I forget the actual name of the character, but they're like, "Where's Mike?" And he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, didn't he go to that audition with you? We haven't heard from him since. Have you heard from Mike or anything?" And he's like, "I don't know. He just dropped me back at my place, and I haven't seen him since." And they're like, "Well, that's weird. No, whatever." And some time goes by, and some more party antics happen, and something happens where Clayface is like, "You know what? I owe these guys. Why don't I just come clean?" And he starts going, like, "Hey, so I do have these connections and everything, but I'm not actually Clay. My real name is Basil Carlo." And they're like, "Whoa, that's an old ass Hollywood ass sounding name. Why did you change it? You probably could have gotten some roles just on that." And he's like, "Well, you don't know." And the girl immediately goes, "Clayface, you're Clayface." And he's like, well, yeah, but don't worry about it." And she's like, "Where's Mike? You were the last person to see Mike. Where the fuck is Mike?" And he's like, "Don't, fuck it." And he just starts trying to kill them. And then Batman shows up and starts kicking the shit out of him. And the girl calls 911, and he runs, and it starts raining in fucking LA. And so it's like, it's getting all muddy, and he's having trouble holding together. And he just goes on this huge fucking rant to Batman about, like, "You don't get it. You're from Gotham. Gotham is a different city. This place is insane. Everybody fucking picks you apart and just sees you as a stepping stone here. LA is a fucking hellhole. You go crazy too if you spent one day here." And Batman is just like, "Dude, you killed 9 people in 2 days. Nothing else matters. You're going back to jail." And that's pretty much the book. It's really fucking good in my opinion.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
Definitely.
Clayface good for a while?
Clayface was a good guy for a while, and I heard some people upset about the fact that they made him a villain again, but, like, I didn't read that shit. I don't care.
Or was it a different Clayface?
It might have been a different Clayface for all I know. Like I said, I didn't read that shit.
Fair enough. I read Tiger Division.
How was Tiger Division?
The Korean Superman is strung up, and his old asshole friend is there, and he's going like, "I'm gonna steal your powers. Because you left and abandoned me." And Korean Superman's like, "No, I didn't. I didn't abandon the thing that mattered. Because all of you left me, and the only person who actually gave a shit about me was the fucking old-ass aunt I had, who, like, took me in when there was nothing, and she forgave me. And she pointed out all the problems that we caused in the gang. So I had a turn of heart and realized, oh wow, I was a shitty person. I want to be a better person now. So, like, I didn't abandon you. You abandoned me, and I became a better person. And like, his old friend from the gang is like, yeah, sure, whatever. We were just trying to survive and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you're not trying to survive now. You're wanting more, and you're greedy now. All that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he points out, it's like, you even made your own little super team to try and save your guilt because of all the problems you had. Don't lie to me. You didn't do it because you wanted to be a good guy. You got them all together so you could try and do more good to alleviate your guilty soul. And he's like, yeah? So what if I did? Like, you're being a dickhead. And all his, like, superhero friends are like hearing the whole conversation, and like his powers start to get drained, and the magic woman starts trying to fight and save the day and all that kind of stuff, but she can't do it. Then everyone else comes in, and they're like, we're here to help our buddy, because it doesn't matter that he did this just to save himself from guilt. We're good guys, and we're gonna help each other. But all of his powers are drained, and then what's gonna happen now? Dr. Doom shows up because he felt a power surge that he could take advantage of. Of course, Dr. Doom's gonna show up. So now all of them have to fight Doom.
Doom.
Good book.
Cool.
Yeah. I read Spider-Man number 20.
Oh, no. Do you even need to do lead up? Because, like, that panel has already become a meme.
Here's the thing. That panel, in context, not bad.
What?
If you are taking it within context, not in the greater context of what's been happening with Spider-Man, but the context of the story that they're trying to tell within this, it is not bad. Because this whole vacation Felicia and Peter are on is them trying to pin down what their relationship is and what's Peter's relationship with Mary Jane. They do the whole thing. They're fighting the bad guys. They're doing all that stuff. And they save the day. They're raha victory. And they're standing there. And she just goes like, all right, Peter, we've avoided it enough. We just need to figure, like, you need to say how you feel about MJ right now before we can actually, we're going to be adults and you need to think through your emotions. And Peter's trying to find the right words because he, like, this version of Peter is like, I loved Mary Jane, but she's someone I care about. And he's trying to find the right words. And that's what he's going through. And Black Cat is just going like, come on, I understand what you're feeling. I am perceptive enough to, like, understand how this whole thing is working out. I need you to verbalize it to yourself so you understand. And so he goes like, she's like a sister? No. She's like this? No, you're close. And then he goes like, I don't know what she is, but I care about her, but I know I don't love her in that way anymore. Which, yeah, bullshit on the greater scope of Spider-Man. On the recent scope of Spider-Man, these last 20 issues, not bad. It makes sense. It's like good character for what they're doing. Asterisk. It works.
See, that's a hot fucking take considering what I've been hearing everywhere else, but I do think you justified it well there. It's a good argument there, Councilman.
And ultimately, if you're just looking at this like that as like Peter and Felicia's possible budding relationship, they're both being adults, they're both being mature about it, they both understand that they have baggage, and that baggage is there. They're not ignoring it. Felicia's not mad that he cares about MJ, that he used to love MJ. She just wants him to, like, process and verbalize what those feelings are today. That's good adult mature writing. It's just everything else is bullshit, you know?
Fucking Paul, man.
Yeah. So it's not the end of the world. out of context, it looks really bad because it's just like,
Yeah.
because out of context, it looks of like, oh, Peter always thought
I
of
mean,
MJ as a sibling.
I've seen people making videos about that page who I know for a fact haven't read Spider-Man since One More Day.
Yeah, because to me, because like you out of context, yeah. But out of context, that panel reads of like, oh, Peter always thought of MJ as a sibling. No, it's him trying to process his relationship with her now.
At this exact moment in time.
Yeah. Like,
It's
and
not him saying, I guess to boil down your argument here, it's not him saying he never wants to fuck MJ again. It's him saying he can't fuck MJ right now and he's okay with that.
yeah, he's moved on. He's like, I care about MJ. She's a person I will always care about. She's a person I will always keep in touch with. I will always try to make sure she's safe. Right now, I'm not in love with her in that way. And that's what he was trying to process. And the greater scope of Spider-Man, fucking hell, why? And just these issues, good character writing.
I mean, let's face it, Spider-Man comics haven't been good in a long ass time, so it's not like not wholly legitimately good what people want to see. Well, like there's been little spurts and spouts here and there, but it's not like this is the end of the world.
Yeah, no. And the rest of the issue is fun. It's them fighting a bunch of silicon yuppie babies who have superpowers now and just destroying them. And it's like good old fun.
Hey Nightmare, I'm just doing my best over here.
Doing your best. What else did we? I read She-Hulk number 10. Last issue.
Jack of Hearts. I like that cover.
Oh yeah, it's a good cover. Jack of Hearts, last issue, fled because he absorbed too much radiation and all that kind of stuff. So She-Hulk is kind of like taking it as a breakup.
Oh.
And so it's post breakup She-Hulk. So she's
honey.
She's going through her life. She's dealing with it. She like all this kind of stuff. And eventually Hellcat shows up. And they have the girls talk. They have the girl talk. They have the ice cream girl talk. And she's like, come on, you need to get out there, Jen. You need to do that.
That's something I want to see. If we're going to bring back the whole frickin' Netflix universe and incorporate it into the MCU, get that Hellcat actress in She-Hulk Season 2.
And She-Hulk, Jen, basically goes like, hey, it's not that he broken up with me or these kind of things. I checked where he could have been. He just disappeared. And I don't know how to take that because it felt he was the first person to see me as I am today. Not a giant, hot, green woman they want to fuck. Not the Jen that's changed. Me as I am in totality. And that made me feel nice. And I saw him in totality, and I thought we had a connection. And if we did have a connection, why hasn't he tried to contact me? I'm afraid he's dead. Kind of thing. And it's like, it's heartbreaking, and it's like really good, characterful, all this kind of stuff. And the end of the issue is a knock at the door. Jack of Hearts is there with his like suit that contains radiation, and he goes like, hey, I was releasing a lot of excess shit in the atmosphere. I couldn't come down for days.
Oh my god.
And Jen's like, I don't care. You're here. You're fine. And he's like, whoa. You can't touch me. It's too much right now. I'm not corporeal anymore. I'm like energy. And she's like,
dude, do you know where my powers come from?
No. And he's like, I don't know if you can even touch me. I don't know if we can make this work. Like he's there to break up with her, of going like, I'm a fucking monster. I don't think you want to try to have a relationship. It might be too much. And Jen's just like, we'll try and see it work. Try and make it work. And it's just like, it's good. It's solid work. It's solid, like, weirdo superhero fucking romance. It's good.
Yeah,
if you want She-Hulk to be the lawyer comedy, this isn't it. This is full on sweeping violin romance story. But it's good for what it is. We both read Immoral X-Men.
This issue fucked. This is what I've been waiting for, baby.
This issue fucks because fucking Emma's in it, and she's full on Dommy Mommy.
Not even Emma is in it. This is Sinister Emma, and Sinister Emma is a whole new beast.
And you really get to see what the whole big shebang problem with it is. It's like you have all of these good people with their worst instincts ramped up to 1,000.
Mm-hmm. You're seeing Sinister being confronted with the real crux of this event is taking Sinister's evil plot that he always have to its logical furthest extreme and saying, yeah, no, you don't actually want that dude, because when everybody is Mr. Sinister can't be Mr. Sinister.
And he's a little bitch, because you can't do half the shit you want to do.
Because remember, all these people beat you all the time when they're their normal self.
I love Professor Xavier Sinister, because he's just like, I want to force them to believe in my dream. Like, he still believes in the goodness of it all, but he's just like, no, you're doing it now. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And frickin' Hope and Exodus living together, that was fucking like, oh shit.
Oh, you mean this guy worships the ground I stand on? And he's hot? I guess I can fuck him.
I'll stand on him. Hell yeah.
You know? It's a lot of good stuff, and it's a lot of Sinister just like reaping what he sowed.
Mm-hmm. Also, the big fucking Magneto memorial that you know he wouldn't have actually wanted.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
good shit.
So
good shit all over this issue. This is what I've been waiting for since a Sinister #1.
This feels very much like a story that, like, it's very much it's a story done through world building, not through plot action.
Yeah, and like this feels more like a return to the main story from that first issue, because we get a lot more of Nathaniel in this.
I wonder if this will just be better in the trade.
It may be, honestly, because I don't even remember what the other two books are called, but like the first one was okay, and then the Storm one I didn't particularly care for, and Nightcrawlers was just kind of eh.
Yeah, overall I think it's good. Great. It is a showcase of these characters being dickheads. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna be impatiently waiting for the next issue of this, because I think this is supposed to be a free issue mini.
Yeah. Alrighty. And here's the thing: this is taking the place of Immortal X-Men. Immortal X-Men's coming back after this is done.
Yeah. And I like Immortal too.
Hey, GCPD, tell me about GCPD.
GCPD, the Blue Wall. Oh man, this friggin' book, dude. Every time I think, oh, this book's gone a little too far. I don't know if I even want to read the next issue.
Like it. I don't know if I like this.
But the next issue is like the most nuanced and mature handling of these kinds of issues I've ever fucking seen in a comic. Like, this is what Nick Spencer's Captain America wanted to be, dude. This is fucking good shit. Just confronting the problems with the police force through the police force in the worst city in this comic book universe, and showing all these different characters getting affected by it in these horrible ways. Like, there's a fantastic scene halfway through this, because I talked about it at the end of the last issue. This one character who was getting really bullied by his squad and had like this horrible instance of racial profiling happen to him, and he just snapped and decided to go on like a fucking shooter crusade against the GCPD. He's been going around, and at the end of last issue, he killed Renee's brother and his fiance, and now he's been going around and killing just other cops that he knew were shitheads. Like the entire squadron that bullied him gets gunned down in this. And there's a moment where Renee walks into this bar, and remember, she's a recovering alcoholic, and she just goes up to the bartender and goes, "You know what to give me." And he said, the last time you were in here, you said never to pour you a drink again. And she goes like, "Well, I'm telling you, pour me a drink now. I need it." And then fucking Two-Face walks in and goes, she really doesn't. But Renee, I know you and I aren't ever going to be square, but I owe you this. Say the word, and that guy's dead, with no trace back to you or me. And she's like, if you're really trying to walk the straight and narrow right now, Harvey, don't fucking ever offer me anything like that again. You have to leave right now. And he's like, okay, but you take care of yourself. And then she has the drink. It's like, fuck. Good shit. I highly recommend this book to anyone who can stomach sensitive topics like this.
Yeah. Sounds good. You read Punisher War Journal Base.
Oh, I thought you were going to read this. Okay.
Here's the thing.
It was a big week.
This past week, yeah, I released 2 videos and it was just too much things.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, this is a little one shot. It's not written by Aaron. It's written by Torun Gordonbeck. That's a weird, German looking name. I don't know how to pronounce. But it's basically fleshing out the flashback portions of Aaron's run, showing an extended chunk of that, just kind of a week in the life where Frank is still trying to adjust back to life as a civilian, and it ain't going well. You see such good inner monologue from him, really detailing out his difficulty adjusting and his sort of contempt for his neighbors and all that, and how his wife just doesn't get it. And there's one point where he even tries to do some superhero stuff. He tries to help some people who have been taken hostage in their own home, and it doesn't go well for him. His dog ends up getting killed, and his wife hates him for it. And it's like, fuck, where does the story go from here? And if you're actually reading current Punisher, you know where the story goes from here. And it's good, fucked up shit. I enjoy Punisher before he's Punisher in a very odd way that I never would have expected, but this is a great additional chunk of that. If you've been reading Aaron's run, I would recommend checking this out, but I don't think it's going to end up being necessary in the long run.
Nah. It cover looks good. I love the contrast of normal hardware stuff and the guns and everything.
Mm-hmm.
How it lines up.
Also, I didn't notice until this, the handle on that saw is literally the Daredevil D.
Yeah.
That's good composition right there.
We both read World's Finest.
Hey, the big issue I told everybody to go out and get in the video on my main channel this week. And it was alright!
It was alright!
It's not a brilliant, groundbreaking execution of this concept. And I'm going to be honest, I should have expected it because they did it last time there was a filler issue, but I was kind of upset that Moore wasn't on art this issue. And also it's just they play all the hits with this concept of the date gone wrong, of the two mismatched characters who are trying their best to make it work. And it does get into some straight up insane comic book bullshit, to have the superhero element come in later on. But it's all done competently, and there's some solid little character moments peppered throughout that I do like. The ending bit where Kara is saying, I don't blame him. I get that humans are complicated, and sometimes it's just not meant to be, and it sucks, but I'm going to try my best to just continue looking for someone and being a good person. And Clark's like, wow, that's really mature. That's way more mature than most humans your age are. I was like, that's pitch perfect Supergirl writing right there. Thank you, Mark Waid.
I do like why she went on the date. She was just like, he's hot.
He's hot, but also, she says, he saved himself.
Yeah.
I didn't know humans were capable of that. Non-powered humans were capable of that.
I love how his competency, what made him attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a solid little issue. I would say it's worth checking out, but it's maybe not as good as the book itself, and then also I hyped it up to be.
Yeah, but it's cute.
Also, there was a monkey.
There is a monkey. You read some Wayne Family Adventures. You wanna
Yes, I caught
speed
up
run some of
on.
these things?
I caught up on like the last month of, or last 2 months really, of Wayne Family Adventures. I read episodes 64 through 73, which is, of course, Wayne Family Adventures. It's a bunch of little short stories about various characters in the Batman family, but also they've been heavily invested in two-parters this season. So the first two episodes that I read, 64 and 65, were a little story about basically dealing with the unresolved tension between Damian and Tim over the role of Robin. Because you remember, during Morrison's run, Damian comes in and it's just pretty much instant that he gets to be Robin after Bruce's death, and there's not really a whole lot of discussion or transition for Tim. And this kind of smooths that over and follows it up in a really solid character way of just like the two of them are having friction on missions, and Tim confronts Damien about it and is like, okay, what's the deal between us? And Damien's like, you're the perfect one. You're everyone's favorite Robin. How can I ever live up to that? Of course I'm jealous of you. Of course I have problems with you. Of course there's going to be friction between us. And he's like, oh, buddy, you're great too. You don't need to beat yourself up like that and see me as like a gold standard. It's okay. And that's pretty cute. I like that.
Yeah.
Then we just get like a fun gag issue about Red Hood and Orphan telling the Signal like, "Hey, stop going in through doors to warehouses. We're the Bat family. We're supposed to have style. Jump through the skylight or the windows, you idiot." And he's like, "But they expect that from Bat family members. Going through the door is actually the most unexpected thing." And they're like, "Oh my god, you're a genius." Then we get a great issue about Spoiler and Orphan having to call in Poison Ivy to help take care of Harley after she got beat up on a mission real bad, because I guess Harley is just a full-on member of the Bat family in this book now.
She's like an ant.
Yeah. And it's really cute because she comes in and she's immediately like, "Oh, you guys have got her on the good pain meds. This will be easy. I can just watch her. You can go." And they're like, "Well, no, she's our teammate. We want to stay and help." And she's like, "Okay, I guess you bats can hang out." And then it's just like real awkward for a couple panels. And then Stephanie just goes, "Can you help me out with my house plant?" And it's just like, oh, well, half an issue of Poison Ivy educating these two idiot teenage girls on how to take care of plants, and it's adorable.
It's just, hey, can I get you interested in your hyperfocus?
Mm-hmm. Uh, and then there's a Thanksgiving special that came out in January, where basically Dick learns that Alfred is home alone on Thanksgiving, and he calls friggin' everybody and goes, "Wrap up your mission right now. Alfred's gonna have a good Thanksgiving. He deserves it, damn it." And that's nice. Uh, then there's a cool two-parter about Oracle dealing with some people that are threatening Commissioner Gordon and showing like how she's still super capable even though she's in the wheelchair. Then there's a gag issue about Stephanie learning to fight in high heels from Catwoman, and Damien coming in and being like, "That's pathetic. I'm sure I could handle it just fine." And then they have a sparring match and they both fall on their asses at the same time. Um, and then the last couple issues, 72 and 73, are another two-parter called Snowfall, which is about a yearly tradition where the Bat family all have a snowball fight that is them playing Manhunt with Bruce. Bruce
Aw.
goes out into the woods outside the manor and like stockpiles snowballs, and they have to hunt him down and get him. And it's really funny, some of the twists and turns that come in.
That's cute.
Yeah, this series is great. I think everybody knows that by now. It's really, I enjoy just waiting a little bit and then shotgunning some of it, but you can still read it week to week. It's a good time. And yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. You also read Saga 62.
Yeah, Saga issue 62. Another issue of this book is out, and it's Saga. It's fucking good, isn't it?
It is Saga.
I I have run out of, well, as I said last time, I have run out of nice things to say about Saga without just talking about beat for beat what's happening in the story.
Beat for beat, beats in my head.
This opens up with a cool flashback explaining how they split off from one of the characters they were hanging out before the big multi-year time skip, and also
The big like in universe, out of universe one, or the recent one.
both, kind of. But then there's like a big explanation of how this planet's magic system works, and there's a really cool moment where, because you remember at the end of the last issue, I think I explained this on the show. Somebody who is like a contact Alana has on the planet they're currently on was like, "Hey, I'm a magic person. I could always bring your husband back." And she's like, no thanks. He was a drinker and a bastard. It's better off that he's dead now. And they're like, oh, okay. And then Hazel is like, why the fuck did you do that? We would all like to have dad back. Why wouldn't you do? And she's like, honey, she was lying. Okay, that woman is a grade A bullshitter. She's going to tell me a bunch of little troops and then a big lie to try and get a bunch of money out of me. And that's what that was. You have to be able to spot that stuff to survive in this world. And she's like, oh, all right. But that seems really stupid. Just one of those scenes of the kid having to learn a hard life lesson that
Yeah.
really works in this book. And then we get a nice little scene between the Will and Sophie, where we find out that the Will is planning to propose to Gwendolyn. Interestingly enough,
That's the Spider Woman, right?
no, that's the woman on the cover, the
Oh,
black
okay.
horned lady who was Marco's fiance until he met Alana.
Oh.
Um, and there's a whole bunch of intrigue and shit going on there, but we then very quickly cut back to the family, where we see Alana is reading a passage from the book that made her and Marco fall in love, and there's a big moment where I feel Vaughn is commenting on current discussions of media, where she goes, okay, I'm going to read you this next passage, but you have to understand it was written in a different time. And she's like, you give us that speech every other day with this book. Just tell us what it says. And she goes, it would, the line is, revenge is the R word. And you got to remember, Squire, the robot kid, he's been having mental problems, and so he
Like
gets
he's
ticked
framed
off.
as neurodivergent.
Yeah, and so he gets ticked off and storms off, and Hazel is like, what is wrong with you? We don't, why would you read that to us? And she's like, I warned you. And she's like, it doesn't matter. We don't use that word, not around him, not around anyone. That's not okay. That's not a word people use anymore, Mom. And she's like, I warned you. I don't see what the problem is. If he just waited until we got further into the book, he'd understand that it's justified based on the time this book was written. And then the narration is like, the kid's a robot. He's already read the book through twice, and he's already decided it's stupid, and he's just been humoring his adoptive mother this whole time. And it's like, that's some shit. That's some challenging shit that Vaughn's putting in there, and I really appreciate it, honestly. And then we get a little update on the current winged government agent that's been hunting Alana and Hazel, just showing that he's caught up to one of Hazel's old babysitters from earlier in the series, who Marco almost got together with during a huge moment of weakness. And she does everything she can to protect them and play it off, but she ends up getting mooked right in front of her family.
Ooh.
And it's really fucking shocking in the way that this book tends to be. And that's the end of the issue. It's another very good issue of this book. If you haven't been reading Saga yet, I don't know what to fucking tell you. It's great. Get on board.
All right. You also read The Flash.
Oh man, you just completely separated out this week, huh?
That's how it happened.
Mm-hmm. Uh, okay, another exciting installment in the 1 Minute War where they're preparing like a big frontal assault, and there's a bunch of little character moments and lead up to that. And they really think they have the upper hand on the baddies. Um, and it's a pretty impressive sequence what happens them trying to get it. But there's a big end of issue reveal that they've gotten the better of the Flashes actually, and they're in over their head, and shit's going to go down next issue, especially with Irie having literally been told to guard the base at one point in the issue, and then she's the only one there when one of the big bads shows up to try and take the heroes they rescued back.
Mm. Nice though.
Yeah,
You enjoying it, Flash?
it's all right. It's pretty good.
All right. I read Thor.
Hey, a Boingo book at last.
This is just like Thor is just trying to figure out what's been going on. They're going to a bunch of like realms of death, and all the dead souls aren't there anymore.
Mm.
And it's like, what the fuck is happening? They do this whole thing, and then we cut to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom has Hela locked up in a magical prison. Doom is doing some Doom shit.
Yeah. Doom's got a real kink for locking up magic ladies, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then we had a really great back issue. Like a really good backup. That's the word.
Okay, I wasn't sure what you meant there for a second.
Backup of and it's Bast coming down to Thor and saying like, "Hey, I need you and
God to God.
God to God, I need some help dealing with this thing." Like, no, she comes to Black Panther first, and she's like, "Hey, I need you to go deal with the thing," and he's like, "Yeah, no, I worship you. Of course I'll go do it." And Thor shows up and is like, "Oh, Bast." She's like, "Oh, hey, Thor, could you help my buddy out?"
Their drinking buddies or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm happy to help. Oh, let me go do that. Let's go do it. And this is a fun little adventure.
Nice.
All three of them team up and they fight. Like she's in a leopard form, and it's like, oh, it's cute. It's just cute. It's a good little backup.
Ooh.
We both read Lazarus Planet Omega.
Hey, it's finally over, everybody. The event that was weird looking and then ended up being kind of underwhelming, but had some cool moments. That's my verdict.
Yeah, it's the end of the story. We beat the bad guy.
And it's very weird to jump back into it because we haven't seen this cast of characters dealing with stuff in the event in a hot minute. Like we really could have done with like another issue with them like in the middle of all those tie-ins.
Realistically, this feels like an event where you had the beginning issue, the end issue, all the tie-ins. We're just missing the middle 3 issues of the event.
Yeah.
We have issue 1 and we have issue 5. We don't have 2, 3, and 4.
Also, fucking Batman versus Robin is coming back with another issue next month? What?
This is all kinds of weird. It's not great, but I like some of the characters they've introduced. And we were praising you, Mark. Come on, don't make fools of us.
Yeah, don't fall off, Mark. Please, I like you. You're a good boy.
It's not bad. I wouldn't say any of the things that we saw in Lazarus Planet are outright terrible.
It's not bad. It's probably better described as mediocre.
It feels like DC wanted to have one of those things where it's like, we'll just make a bunch of new characters. And Mark Waid was like, hey, if anybody else did it, it would be dog shit. If I do it, they have a fighting chance.
If I do it, it will be adequate.
Yeah. But hey, it's not bad. It's going to be one of those events that's just forgotten. What are you going to do?
That's all right.
You read Captain Britain. Again, didn't get to it.
Oh, I really thought you were going to get to this. Okay. This is all right. Speaking as somebody who didn't really read a lot of Sword of X, was it? Or no, not Sword of X.
It was Sword of X was the event. Then it was
The, the,
Excalibur.
the Captain Britain book between this and Excalibur. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah.
read that.
Knights of
Uh,
X.
Knights of X. There it is. Okay. Uh, Speaking as somebody who didn't read that, I thought this was okay. So I'm not fully up on the events and stuff like that. Like, I knew Rachel and Betsy got together. You told me that, so I was expecting that going into this. Um, but overall, I thought it was pretty solid because a lot of it is them going to different dimensions and dealing with the fact that a lot of the Captain Britain Corps is under attack and they're having weird issues in their dimensions, while also like just kind of getting you up to speed on the Braddock family situation with the house kind of being moved back to their island and whatnot, and just where everybody is at in their life right now. I should say, I do really like the way Betsy and Rachel are written as a couple. You really buy it as like two friends who have been close for years and then just decided, hey, why don't we just start fucking? Why don't we just move in together? That would be much more convenient, and we'd be a lot happier that way than trying to pursue other relationships. And so that's really good. But I must say, I am getting so damn tired of the everybody outside of Krakoa and the Braddock family doesn't like Betsy being Captain Britain, and they're like trying to trash her in the media narrative. Like that feels as old hat to me now, as far as we are from her becoming Captain Britain, as like the X-Men being a oppressed minority felt in the mid 2000s. Like, it's been refreshed and it's gotten to a place where it's interesting now, but that's because they modernized it. And here it's just kind of woman in man role is not what men want to see, and people see her as unpatriotic. And
Here's the
that's just
thing.
repeated over and over again.
There's a way you could do it that's really fascinating. I'm sad that they're not doing it that way. Britain has a lot of problems with the Conservative Party doing a lot of shit, and there's ways you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
It
I really feel like it's just them going like, okay, we want this to be the status quo for Betsy, but we don't want to piss off any British readers. So we're just saying that people in general see her as unpatriotic, and the government doesn't
Here's the
like her
thing:
too much.
you could just say the Tories. You could just call them the Tories don't like her, and you could probably make most of Britain happy.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, and here's the thing: as an American, I would not mind if there was just a scene where fucking King Charles goes like, "And now that I'm in charge, we're not going to put up with a female Captain Britain." But I know they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this is okay. I'll probably give the second issue a go, but I don't know if I'm going to keep on with this at the moment. It's one of those kind of things where I'm like, it's a decent start, but you really got to hook me in soon.
Uh, but we both read Superman Space Age.
The final issue of Space Age has arrived, and I gotta say, I really dug this issue. And I feel like this isn't going to go down as like one of the all-time great Superman done in one stories, but it is going to be an interesting offshoot that you could recommend to people as like the next thing to check out after stuff like All Star and For All Seasons.
Oh yeah, this feels very much of like, all right, cool. You read Frontier. Here's Space Age.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right. It is a universe during the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This full on ends in this has a this has an ending that seems very depressing at the start, and then it gets a nice little hopeful bit at the very end there.
Yeah, because basically this whole issue is Superman going like, okay, wow, the Earth is really gonna end. Fuck, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I have an idea. All right, let's do that.
And he basically just decides to digitize everybody and send them into the next universe.
Yeah. And like I love the Justice League. I love seeing Mike Allred's art of all the League members. I love his rendition of Jon Stewart from the 80s. Like, he feels like everybody feels
seeing him
real.
actually take off the mask was so funny.
I don't like his Flash. I'm not a big fan of like the writing for this Flash.
Yeah, it's a weird take on Flash. I
don't mind him being like, I need to do something with my hands to focus. I don't like the flippant attitude about it, you know?
This Batman, though. Holy fuck, this Batman.
This is one of the best Batmans, period.
Yeah.
This is king shit Batman. A Batman who's like, yo, I will take a bullet to make sure you don't you don't get to hurt people.
I can see people getting upset about this take on the Joker, but I feel like it works for this universe.
Oh, I will say this. Mike Allred, don't draw that Joker anymore. I don't like it. It is disturbing.
It's just for this universe.
Yeah, it is a hype. It is a joke. The framing of this guy is, we actually get this Joker's origin, is he was a party clown. And he was doing all this kind of stuff, and he lived in tenement housing with his daughter, and she got hit by arson due to an insurance fraud, and he tried to save her, but he couldn't. He like, his body was like, no, run. And he did, and he hates himself over it. So he kidnaps a bunch of Wayne Tech kids. And it's like,
children of Wayne Tech employees.
Yeah. And it's just like, all right, cool. Fuck them. Fuck everybody.
And Bruce is like, okay, how can I make it up to this guy? And the truth is, he can't, and he ends up dying in the attempt.
Yeah, it's a sad end for Batman. But it's
and that allows for Lex to just be like the biggest fucking bastard version of Lex I've ever seen.
I love this Lex. I love how a guy goes like, here's kryptonite, it can kill Superman. He's like, and
how do I make money from that?
No, but he's your arch enemy. All right. Next time I'm on the playground, I'll think about it. Now that we're adults and we're talking here,
I laughed out loud when I read that too.
That's a great Lex Luthor. This is a phenomenally done Lex Luthor.
It's a really interesting take on the DC universe that I think people will appreciate as long as they can divorce it from their iconic ideals of what these characters should be.
I mean, here's the thing. All the characters are very in keeping with their characterization. This is a Superman-ass Superman. This isn't a Superman that's weird or different. This is Clark Kent. This is a good old-fashioned dude who decides to digitize all the human race in the one chance that he can, push them into an alternate universe. Not even knowing if there's another Superman there who is alive, who can take advantage of all these people and save them. But he does.
And the whole time, Brainiac's like, look at this fucking idiot. He could have come with us to the next years. Oh, well.
Whatever, just leave. Whatever, it won't affect us anyway. We let that fucking thing die. Let it go. And then Superman that lived through that apocalyptic Earth picks it up, reads the note, and goes oh shit, a second chance. Ah!